Hey kids, it's time to get some SML podcast all up in that.
I'm not ready for Prismata yet because I've only done the toots. I haven't actually taken it far enough.
The toots?
The toots.
What the fuck is the toots? Toots. Oh my god. Royal, what am I going to do with you? What's up, everyone? This is the SML Podcast. I'm your host, Joe. We're taking a little break from the video games for a bit because this weekend, NXT TakeOver, WWE WrestleMania, it's going to be insane, and I fucking want to do more wrestling shows. So
wait, do you mean the showcase of the Immortals?
The official showcase of mortals and or immortals?
Is it the grandest stage of them all, would you say?
It could be. I mean, it depends on how well it goes.
The show of shows, perhaps.
The show of shows.
By the way, Tim Ekkebus, you're here. How are you doing?
I'm great. I can't wait to talk about wrestling.
Jumping in before I even get to do the intro.
I know.
Also joining us, legendary filmmaker Eddie Lebron. How are you?
I am functional. Very excited to talk about wrestling. I have only two individuals in my life that I can talk to about wrestling, so
and we're here.
It's a lot of emotional repression and just kind of holding it down and, you know, just venting to myself, oh, fucking they're pushing Roman too hard, and just now I can finally let all that angst out.
Fucking Roman, goddamn Roman.
Totally.
I just love how Eddie is a legendary filmmaker and I am fucking chopped liver.
Well, you've been on the show how many times, Tim?
I guess.
You are also a world-renowned filmmaker.
He's making up for lost time. He's got to throw all the big nouns and adjectives and everything he can to make it.
Do I have to call you a legendary world-renowned filmmaker every time you're on now?
Yeah, it's part of my title, like WrestleMania. Grandest stage of them all, show of shows, showcase of the Immortals, etc.
At the Silver Dome, right? Pontiac Silver Dome.
At the Silver Dome.
97,000 standing on their feet.
Oh, man. So how excited are you guys for this weekend?
Very.
Actually quite excited. Surprisingly, asked me like 7 weeks ago and I was like, nah, it's okay.
Yeah, this card is turned into a pretty awesome looking card. There's a couple of stinkers in there that we're going to have to deal with, but overall it looks pretty fucking good for this weekend.
Yes. Yeah.
It is a stacked card.
There is some good singles matches. There was a decent amount of restraint in not piling on too many triple threats and fatal four-ways and multi-person things. There's still quite a few of them, but
it makes sense with how big their roster is.
Yeah, but just make your battle royals bigger and say sorry maybe next year to some people.
I don't know.
Randy Orton. Fuck that guy.
I mean, it's a title match. Would you really want to hold a title match off WrestleMania?
Oh, no. What?
Just take the title off him and put it on someone better?
Oh, that guy. Well, yeah, we're getting to that.
Okay, so before we dive into everything, do you guys want to start with NXT TakeOver or WrestleMania?
Oh, start with TakeOver. Chronological.
So TakeOver
show of the weekend
is this Saturday. I cannot wait for it. 5 matches are going to be on the card. I figure we could run through all the matches, give our thoughts, give our predictions, and see how things go.
Yep.
Sound good?
Absolutely.
First match on my list, Johnny Gargano, the Bizarro Chad Williams versus Tommaso Ciampa in an unsanctioned match for Johnny Gargano's job back. What do you guys think of this one?
So first up is the best match of the weekend. Possibly, probably.
It could be.
A year in the making.
Oh, God, it's been such a build-up. So what do you guys think is going to happen? Is Johnny getting his job back? Is Tommaso going to find a way to outsmart him? What's going on? What are your thoughts?
Hold it for Eddie. Yeah, there.
Yeah,
so
hold for Eddie.
I mean, Johnny's got to go over. I feel like this is all in a nice, beautiful build to SummerSlam when he can finally win the NXT title. So the weekend. Technically, the SummerSlam weekend is the mania of the NXT takeovers, and I feel like this is him. He's going to start building this heat up. He's going to get that win over the guy who's been screwing him up for about a year, and once he gets that win, he'll get his momentum going, and this will probably be. He's already had a bunch of killer matches that kind of established him as this amazing up and comer in NXT. So,
including a 5-star match at the last takeover.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Mind-boggling. He is my favorite superstar in all of everything. Johnny
Gargano. Look at you calling them superstars and everything.
Brand.
I am politically correct. So I'm super excited. I know I'm fairly certain that's going to be the match of the night. We all kind of, as much as I would like, I look forward more to the latter match by a hair, but this match is going to steal the show. And they've built. I wish the main show can build feuds like this. I wish. Mm-hmm. But I'm so stoked. It's going to be another 5-star.
I hope so. Tim, what do you think?
It's like the injury and the year delay almost like made it even better because they couldn't fire it off right away for, whatever the next takeover was at the time. So they had to wait a year. So it's been building and everyone's been like, well, when is Ciampa going to show up and dick over Johnny Gargano and get this thing going again? Like he has been the specter in the background. It seems likely that Johnny's going to win. I could see, and because, he's been singles in NXT for the past year, and Tommaso hasn't. So I could see a possibility where Johnny loses, goes on to 205 Live, of all things, but then, they hold off until, well, not hold off, but then they pick it back up whenever Tommaso moves up as well, What happens if Johnny Gargano becomes a cruiserweight champion, and then who's there to start screwing him over right away?
Oh my God. Or what if he's about to win the cruiserweight championship?
Yeah, even better.
And that bald son of a bitch shows up.
Hey, it could happen, but I could see it going either way. You never know, man. I'm
going to go with Tommaso winning this one. I'm going to make the call that he's going to win. There's going to be shenanigans, but he's going to win it. And I think Gargano is moving up.
It's unsanctioned. How many shenanigans could you have?
True.
I guess there will be shenanigans regardless.
Oh, man. So final thoughts, everyone. Final decision, prediction.
Yeah. It's going to steal the show. Johnny goes over.
Johnny goes over.
I'll go with that, too.
The two Johnnies, and I'm with Tommaso.
Yeah, but I can definitely see the Tommaso side of it as well. Easily could see that happening.
Either way, this match is going to be... If this match gets anything below 4.5 stars, I'll be shocked. Because their match during the Cruiserweight Classic was pretty fantastic.
Yeah. Back when everyone first thought that he was going to turn on him.
When they were first going to break up, maybe. And then they stuck together for how long?
Won a title, etc. Yeah.
But speaking of titles, there's going to be a brand new championship in NXT, and we have a 6-man ladder match fighting for this one. Adam Cole, EC3, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Velveteen Dream, and Ricochet, all fighting for the NXT North American Championship.
A dream match for those indie marks out there.
It is like, holy shit, the star power in this match is insane. Where do we even begin with this one?
I will say this match is really hard to call a winner in. Like, I was knowing that I was going to have to talk about this. Like, I believe fortune favors one of the two new guys, either EC3 or Ricochet. But I could see it going for, I think Sanity is probably due to go to the main roster, so maybe not Killian Dane so much. He might be the least likely. You don't know because now Adam Cole is doing double duty. That night. He also has to be in a tag team match because his Johnny Fish went and got hurt. Johnny Fish, Bobby Fish, good old Johnny Fish,
and Bobby Gargano.
I was literally, but Lars, I had read, was supposed to be in the title match at this takeover, but got hurt. Velveteen Dream is just freaking awesome, but
it's magic.
He is magic, and he's kind of where my heart is a little bit for this match, but I also have this fear that he's the new Tyler Breeze and that he's going to have awesome matches. Everyone's going to love him, and he just doesn't actually win big, but he could win big.
Well, he doesn't need to win big anymore. He could win middle with the North American title.
Yeah, well,
have ourselves a mid-card championship.
This is so tough. My initial gut reaction is Ricochet, just because when you watch certain programming and promos, it seems like Triple H is pretty high on him. Ricochet seems to be his kind of new bottom boy. So I feel like he is going to give him that push, and then maybe he'll start a feud of EC3 and start building the both of them up. I feel like Ricochet is going to be the star here and take that title. I kind of feel the same way about Dream, that is the new Tyler Breeze. So he'll have amazing matches, a great character. He'll feud with some great up and coming talents, like just similar to like Tyler Breeze when he had his little spiel with Jushin Thunder Liger. I feel like he's going to be put in a decent position, but he's not going to be pushed as well as Ricochet or EC3, who I think those two are going to be. I can see them feuding within the next year or so.
Oh, we lost our Tim. Uh-oh. I kind of wondered why he went quiet out of nowhere.
Tim?
Tim died. He went away. See if I could get him back into the call.
Can you guys not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, my thoughts on the whole ladder match, I really think EC3 is going to win this one. I think they've been building him up like crazy. Just the fact that they're even still calling him EC3, an Impact name, I think that's huge.
That is huge.
I really think this is his match to stand out and win, and I'm excited to see what he does in this. I think Ricochet's another one, but I more think that Ricochet might go straight for the main championship.
I can see that.
That's just my thoughts on it. I would ask Tim for his thoughts, but it's still trying to dial him in. So let's jump to the tag team championship match. This is kind of a weird one because it started off as Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne fighting the Authors of Pain to see who was going to win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And then the Undisputed Era decided to jump in and just fuck everything up. And instead of a one-on-one tag match to see who wins the Tag Team Classic, or instead of Undisputed Era fighting a team at TakeOver, they're just throwing all three of them together for a 6-man tag match, two on two, and we're going to see what happens there. What are your thoughts on this one?
It's going to be delightful. That's the thing. I've warmed up on the Authors of Pain. Obviously, like two years ago when they were first kind of slithering into NXT, they seemed just like a traditional, big guy group. I mean, while they're still that, there's a lot more credibility. They've been built up fairly well, and you put them against two other teams that are going to bring in a different style and a different approach to the match structure. And I mean, I am a huge fan of these types of triple threat tag team matches. NXT does those fairly well. I am extraordinarily excited. I could see the Authors of Pain winning this because the Undisputed Era, I mean, it's a wrench was thrown into that plan. And maybe Roderick Strong and Peter Dunne have some, they have some momentum they can build, but I mean, just
Pete Dunne.
Yeah, my vote is on Authors
Tim's
of Pain.
Back, I guess.
Yeah, I was stretchered out, and then I threw it off and came back in.
Roman, I'm so proud of you for fighting through the pain, overcoming the odds.
Anytime.
Big dog.
I'm the big dog.
It's big dog time. Tim, did we get your thoughts on the 6-man?
Yeah, more or less. I think. I don't know. Did you? Skype is a wonderful program.
Who was your official pick for it?
I'm saying Ricochet.
Ricochet?
Yeah.
I second that.
And I'm going EC3, so you guys are on the same wavelength, and I'm just like...
Apparently.
I mean, that's like my number 2. That's not way off. That would be my number 2 pick, would be EC3. Like I said, those guys seem like the favorites, I think.
I think you guys are sharing notes. You're cheating.
He's right next to me. He actually left the room. That's why he went quiet.
So you're the one who had him stretchered out.
Yeah.
Hit him from behind with a steel chair and just
shut up.
I'm legendary. He's not.
Exactly. I can't take it. Yeah. Anyways, the tag match. I think Authors of Pain feel like it's their time to be moving on to a brighter spotlight. Weird as the thrown together last minute team of Strong and Pete Dunne are. They seem like they've got a lot of momentum and they've been pretty popular, and I think they just might win. They're my pick.
I'm going to go with Undisputed Era. I think we're going to see something fucky go on with Authors of Pain. I think they're going to be turned on, and some allegiances are going to shift. Authors of Pain are going to move up to the main roster.
Turned on.
Yes.
They are going to be so horny.
I can't remember the manager's name. I'm getting old and forgetful. Fuck. Manager of the Authors of Pain. Why can't I remember? Paul Ellering.
Yes,
Jesus Christ. Why couldn't I remember
I was
Paul
just thinking
Ellering?
Legion of Doom.
I know, me too. And I'm thinking Paulie Dangerously. I'm like, no, it's not him. It's Paul Ellering. There we go. I think he's going to turn on the Authors, side with the Undisputed Era. And I think they're going to switch things up there.
It's a deep pick there. I like that.
What do you guys think if Undisputed Era keep the tag titles, Adam Cole wins the NXT North American title? Do you see that happening at all?
It's a possibility.
Depends if they want to put all their eggs in one basket, building up the Undisputed Era and this trifecta going forward. That would be bold and awesome, but I don't see it happening.
Because then if Dunn and Strong win, you would have Peter Q. Dunn, having two titles as well.
Yeah. True. I don't know. Maybe, I wonder if they're going to have Undisputed Era pick up a new member here soon because they, while Bobby Fish is out, because I think he's going to be out a little while. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to need to do that, replace him much like so much. What was that guy that was Insanity? I can't even remember his name. Sawyer Fulton.
Oh, God, I forgot about him.
Everybody forgot about him. It's like when he was released, everyone was like, wait, who?
Could we possibly see Roddy turn on Pete and join Undisputed Era?
That's possible.
That's
possible.
That would be pretty cool.
A swerve.
Speaking of all these titles, there is another title match, the NXT Women's Championship. Ember Moon, Shayna Baszler, rematch from last TakeOver. I think Shayna's winning this one. I think Shayna's winning. Ember's going to SmackDown, and she's going to feud with Asuka. That's my guess.
That's a good call. Good call.
Yeah, I am totally down with that. That is, yeah.
Otherwise,
I think Shayna's definitely winning.
I'm not too into this match. Their last match was solid. Nothing to really write home about. I think Baszler needs to go in there and just beat the shit out of Ember.
Yeah. And
just come away strong.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think some people thought that's what was going to happen last time. But yeah, I again, it's freaking around WrestleMania. This is when people start popping up to the main roster left and right. So yeah, I think it's probably about, Ember got her courtesy run with the title. And now it's time for her to move on. That's what it felt like to me, man. It was just like, she didn't get to break the streak. But it's like, well, you were like the second best person around here for a while, so
might as well give it to you.
Might as well give it to you.
Whatever.
X gonna give it to you. All right. So yeah, I'm with you on Shayna winning for sure.
X gonna give it to you. H gonna give it to you.
NXT's going to give it to you. I think it's also going to go with Shayna. They do. I mean, this will be for our WrestleMania discussion, but I feel like they need to give something for Asuka to do until her next Mania. I feel like Ember makes the most sense in terms of if they want to remember the NXT heat. I mean, they did at the Women's Rumble match, so obviously they can continue that and ride that for a little while until SummerSlam. So that probably makes the most sense. I feel like the only issue with that is the women's division in NXT is not as great as it once was. So it's kind of hurting. They need to bring in either additional people or start building these people up to be significantly stronger. Because once Ember's out, who can I point to say that woman's going to represent NXT? Aside from maybe Shayna.
Well, Kairi Sane is down there. I don't know what happened to the iconic duo. They seem to have vaporized
And a
lately.
lot of
Did
people
one of
think
them
they're
get
getting
injured or
called up
something?
too.
I know, but it's just like they were fun.
One of them got injured, and then they both got titty
okay.
implants.
Nished. Oh,
Ha.
great.
Both of them. Yep.
Oh man, Peyton was
I
so
know.
perfect as she was.
They were so gorgeous the way they were, and they had to go get fake ones.
Whatever. I won't judge.
I'll look,
that's
but I
a
won't
bummer.
judge.
You can look, but you can't judge.
One final match on the NXT TakeOver. Andrade Cien Almas versus Aleister Black for the NXT Championship. How do you guys see this going? Eddie, you first.
I think they're going to continue the momentum on Almas and just kind of continue building him up as a credible champion. I think he's going to win it. I'm just so surprised over the last year what they've done with him in terms of legitimizing him. Once upon a time, I still remember going to NXT shows when it ever came out. Me and my girlfriend would just go, ha ha, he's no credible threat. and then over the last year, it's like that's changed completely. And I legitimately can see like if he can get a nice, clean, straight win over Aleister Black, that's the legitimacy, a little extra legitimacy that he needs to really cement himself. And plus, I feel like Aleister he'll get his chance in the near future. He doesn't necessarily need to win it now. I still think it's gonna be a solid match, but I think Almas is gonna get it.
Tim, what do you think?
I mean, Aleister Black has kind of been like the guy around NXT for the last year. Like they started building. Did he debut last year's WrestleMania TakeOver, or was the one after it? He was right around there.
I think it was Mania TakeOver because I remember him coming out with his super cool entrance, and I'm like, oh, all right. Oh, he's doing the CM Punk Indian style sit. All right, here we go.
Well, I
think it was that.
During the UK Championship, was it the UK Championship tournament? He came out as his indie name.
Yeah, he was Tommy Yen.
Tommy Yen.
Tommy Yen, that's what it is. And he made
that's
an
really
appearance there.
You know who he debuted against last year?
Who?
Andrade Cien Almas.
Oh, it comes full circle.
Another layer to the story. And last year he won. Obviously, that was back when Almas was still a chump.
Yep.
Yeah, you almost look at this as like, oh yeah, this is the time. They've been building up Aleister Black for a year. This is the time when he wins the title. Wouldn't that be great? But yeah, I think there is something with maintaining Almas as like this baller champion who has these awesome championship matches and like. In keeping him around, because honestly, I think like he goes up to the main roster, and I think he would fizzle quickly. Unfortunately, I think he would just get lost up there, like they wouldn't really know what to do with him. Because really, what has made him great is having awesome matches, and he just isn't going to have the time for that. Whereas I think Aleister Black will do a lot better up there because he just has to kick people and look cool. Again, it's like I could see it either ways, but yeah, I think I'm going with Almas for this.
I'm going on my own again, and I'm going with Aleister Black. I think both champions are going to lose, Ember and Andrade, and I think they're both going to SmackDown. That's my guess.
That's a fair guess.
Ember's going to SmackDown to fight with Asuka, and Andrade's going to SmackDown to pick up his feud with Shinsuke.
Oh. Aha.
Which spoils my prediction for later on in the show, but that's
does it?
Possibly, or he might just feud with Shinsuke in general.
Regardless.
Them NXT folks fighting each other. But that's it for TakeOver. And then Sunday night, starting at what seems like noon anymore and running until 4 in the morning. Seriously, 5 p.m. to midnight. Holy fuck.
Fond memories of doing that in the Orlando heat. Wonderful.
I almost fell asleep during the Triple H Roman Reigns match a couple years ago. Literally falling asleep.
Regardless, everybody did.
Oh, man.
I mean, you guys have both been to WrestleManias. What were your experiences like? Because I've never been. The biggest thing I've gone to is Royal Rumble.
It's freaking exhausting. It's great. Everyone has amazing energy, and you feel like you're a part of something big. That being said, like I remember going to Mania 29, twice in a lifetime, Cena and Rock, and that felt like a much tighter show than last year when I went. My energy was up throughout the whole thing, right to the last match. I never felt tired. I mean, Punk versus Taker is the second greatest match I've ever seen in my life.
Nice.
What's number one?
Bailey and Sasha at the first NXT.
Oh, you bitch.
That was I've
that
never
match
been
is
that
awesome.
invested. It's that's art.
Yeah.
But last year it was the first time like in a wrestling event, like I was like fading. I was like, I don't have it in me. What's happening?
I've become old man.
I'm seeing things, and there were matches I was excited about that I didn't really care about anymore. Like I was fading during, like I was so excited about Seth versus H, and I was like, oh, I don't care.
I don't care anymore. I just
And then
Wade
freaking
Barrett's
just like,
old music. I just don't
Triple
care
H has that
anymore.
effect on people.
and then just freaking Taker's waddling through his match with Roman, and I'm like, oh, well, the experience overall was nice, but I can't. I almost went this year, but I just can't imagine going through that long of a show in person again. I need a few. I'm probably gonna go next year because I mean it's in New York, so I mean it's like right around the corner. But you know, it takes a long-term mental preparation to go to a show like that in person. I'm already tired thinking about it watching at home on Sunday.
Tim, you went to a WrestleMania long before they turned into 12-hour events. What one? You
Better
said
times.
X8? Oh shit, did we lose him again? Yes, we
left.
did. He just messaged me on Facebook and said, "Oh wow, hard crash BRT."
Oh,
So,
yes, when I was at X8, it was a great show.
Man, it was just really solid. I had a lot of fun there. Oh man, yeah, I'm jealous that I've always wanted to go to a WrestleMania, and maybe if there was one in my neck of the woods again, I'll have to try making it there.
Are you you're in what, PA or somewhere?
Wilkes-Barre, PA.
You got to try next year. You
Is
got to
next
try
year-
for next.
Was next year New York or Philly?
It was almost Philly. I think it was down to New York and Philly, but MetLife Stadium won out. But I mean, that being said, I mean, like, you get up early, you do that drive, you go to the show, get a cheap ass hotel, and come back the next day. Like, you got to
Are
get
you
at least
going?
one Mania in. I am going. I have to. It's
Let me know when you're doing tickets, and if I somehow have the funds for it, I will definitely party up with you.
oh goodness, yes. I'm already trying to amalgamate as large of a group as I can. So
Well, I think we have a
I'm not-
third. Tim, what do you think?
Oh, about man, I don't know.
Now that you're back,
Yeah, I will say my WrestleMania experience was like I went to WrestleMania 18, which was eons ago at this point.
back when
And
they
that
were
was in
still what,
Toronto.
3 hours back then?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like WrestleMania, it starts it's 8 hours now, and back then it started at like 7 probably. I think the actual WrestleMania show was still like 3.5 hours, and it was still preceded by like some Sunday night heat crap. Like they hadn't even done the extending it to 7 yet. So it wasn't like this exhaustive thing, and it was. I do remember standing outside of the Sky Dome for a long time waiting to get in, with lots of chants and woos and etc. But I'm sure it wasn't quite the mess as it is trying to pack all these people into a football stadium quite as much. But yeah, no, it was funny. We went up to Toronto for the day and got food, and then went to WrestleMania, and I saw The Rock versus Hulk Hogan live.
That's
which was-
really cool.
It was, yeah, that was easily the best match. I mean, the quality of that match, say what you will, but that as a live match experience was unparalleled. How insane that match was.
I can only imagine how the chants went.
Oh, it was just like
Just
nonstop,
being a part of it.
nonstop. Everybody just screaming and yelling and chanting, like nonstop. The whole, like everyone was exhausted afterwards. It was like third or fourth from the top of the show. Like I think all the title matches went last, and people were just done. Like people started leaving after that match. Like when
can't really top it.
yeah, well, when they start, and they didn't. When they started playing the video package, everyone was like, already? Like, really? We're already doing this? What? Yeah, but it like that was awesome. And afterwards, everyone was exhausted, and Triple H beat Jericho for the title eventually.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened.
That was a thing that happened on that particular evening. But
it's no longer the days of short WrestleManias. This year we've got a 7-hour show. We have 13 confirmed matches, a possible 14th. Let's just dive into this with the pre-show.
Oh my God. Okay.
Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, cruiserweight title. I have nearly no interest in this. I think Mustafa's going to win.
Oh,
Nearly. You have a little more. I have nothing. I have no interest in this match at all.
You're just checked out completely.
Yeah, I mean, the handling of the cruiserweight division, I mean, it's the last few months have just been just a mess. I mean, between just losing Neville and he who shall not be named having to get fired, and just it's been a mess. They don't have any real, power stars right now. I just not into it, man. I'm just not.
He who shall not be named. Tim, did we lose you again?
We lost him.
Damn it, we lost him again. Oh, do we just wait like a minute to see if he comes back in?
I sense his presence.
This is the most my Skype has misbehaved in forever. I am very sorry.
That's mine has behaved.
We've never had problems with you before.
I know. But I've never had it like with this level of crashing, and I have recorded 4-hour podcasts before, like with the call not dropping off. This is insane and ridiculous.
Crazy.
I don't know, but Alexander Ali, do you have a guess? Because
I think Alexander's gonna win. I wish Mustafa Ali was going to win because he's awesome. And I feel like Cedric is kind of already made. He has been made since 205 Live started. Yeah. And Mustafa's kind of had this slow build as everyone slowly discovers that he's possibly actually the most awesome part of 205 Live, this side of Drew Gulak's PowerPoints. So, I think those guys are going to go nuts and really go for it. It could go either way, but I think it's going to be a great match. And unfortunately, the stadium is not going to be very full for it.
My dream scenario is going to be Austin Aries coming out with all of his Impact and Indie belts and just beating the shit out of both of them. Be like, you miss me yet? But there's also 2 battle royals on the pre-show. The women's battle royal. Do you guys have any picks for this or anything?
Well, they've been building up that Sasha Bailey feud, so it feels like one of them is probably gonna win, and I'd have to say maybe Sasha Banks. But aside from that, I probably would have picked Becky Lynch. If it's gonna be one of those 3, that's I feel like.
My vote's on Becky. I feel like the heat and the rage, the fire between Bailey and Sasha is going to cloud their judgment. It's going to be the last 3. It's going to be the 3 of them, and Becky's going to get them in their moment of weakness and have her moment, because she doesn't get enough moments. She's
That's a good call.
She's such a sweet girl.
She's awesome.
She's amazing. So well rounded and so pretty. I have a crush on her. She's my favorite woman.
Your wrestling waifu.
Oh goodness, yes. A hair above Asuka. It's just her hair is so magical.
Nice. I think whoever loses the NXT women's match is going to win the Battle Royal.
Oh.
Because I know they said it's open to everyone, so I think they're gonna pull something like when Baron Corbin won from NXT. Yeah. I think someone in NXT is gonna take it.
Okay. All right.
But speaking of the men, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Any thoughts on this one? Because they didn't even announce all of the participants yet. Well,
they never do.
I think the winner is going to be a surprise. Someone who's not announced, someone we don't know about. I think someone unknown is going to win this one.
Oh man, I feel like I had a good thought about who was going to win this, but I don't remember that thought was at all. Oh, Samoa Joe returning. That's my
vote. Yeah,
that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Now the thing is,
I don't know if they would waste Samoa Joe's return on just the Andre Battle Royal on the pre-show. He seems a bit more than that.
That's true.
Yeah, but if you want to get him on WrestleMania, then
true.
What are you gonna do?
My thoughts were initially Joe as well. But the thing is when it comes to the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, it's booking logic is kind of thrown out the window. Last year, if I remember correctly, I thought Sammy was the clear guy to win, and the year before that, I thought someone else was to win. If I'm remembering correctly, it's like every year there's like this one guy who's built so strongly and is like the favorite, and they go with someone else.
They did the whole. Remember the whole Sandow Miz feud culminated? Exactly. ? In the Battle Royal sort of
So, I mean, it ultimately, when it comes to this, like, booking doesn't matter. They just randomly pick somebody.
Well, it's like last year, it was like, oh, well, we
Mojo.
got Rob Gronkowski in the building, so let's have Mojo win and do a thing with Gronkowski.
Ooh, could we see Gronk go from interference to winner?
Oh,
nope, he's still in football. So, no.
He's been talking about retiring, so you never know.
No, I think he'll show up eventually in wrestling for sure. I totally believe that.
He seems like such a meathead that he would be perfect for it.
Yes.
He is a tall fellow.
He is. So 2 Samoa Joes, and I'm going with someone we don't know about, which, fuck, it could be
You're
Samoa
going
Joe.
with the field, basically.
I'm playing the unknown field. Main card of WrestleMania. I'm going to start things off with the match I am least excited about, and that is Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. I hope it's the curtain jerker. I know it won't be.
You mean the match that's probably unfortunately going on last?
Oh, it's
probably.
going on last.
And that's why I'm putting it on first. What do you guys think of this?
I mean, I'm going to go with a little bit of the rumors. I mean, Brock Lesnar's on his way out. They're finally, after all these years and after all this delay and all this nonsense, Roman's, finally going to get that coronation. That just like, finally.
Oh yeah, he's never gotten that end of WrestleMania shining moment before.
Oh yeah, but now it's with Brock. It's what they wanted to do years ago, and they held off. But now they're going to finally do it. It's like, Roman is now really the big dog of WWE.
God,
I also think it's going to go. I feel like it's going to go on last, just because I feel like after the last few weekends and the last few weeks, and just kind of building up Roman's credibility, quote unquote, that they're going to find some stupid logic to have Paul Heyman join Roman Reigns and screw Brock. It's going to be a dirty finish, and they're going to end Mania with Roman holding the belt and Paul, aligning with him, and that's why I think it's going to close the show, because that's the final moment we're going to see.
In your scenario, are they turning Roman heel?
I feel like they are. That's the thing. It's
I can go with
on
that.
paper. On paper, he's going to be a heel, but he's still going to be doing his. I'm the big dog. I did this. Hustle, loyalty, respect times 2, and that just the Roman nonsense will still continue. But on paper, he'll be a heel.
If they finally pull the trigger and make him a heel, align him with Heyman, and Lesnar's gone, I can accept that happening. That could actually be pretty cool.
All in.
Depends on how they execute it. That's the thing. Like it sounds great on paper, but there's been a lot of things on paper that have not panned out, and I don't trust WWE to handle that correctly. But I could be wrong. They've proved me wrong. So I mean,
true.
We'll
Tim, your thoughts?
Roman wins. Lol. Basically, I mean, yeah, like they've been after this for 3 years now. Yes, Roman Reigns has main evented the past 4 WrestleManias. I don't think John Cena ever main evented 4 in a row like this, which is crazy to think about.
I'm at the point I would love for Roman to actually be guilty in that steroid accusation thing, just to go the fuck away for a bit.
It was great when he had that hernia a little while back.
I know, a month or so without him. If you want to give him belts, give him the Intercontinental belt, give him the tag belts. Just stop John Cena-ing him and shoving him down our throats.
Generally, I will say I generally like the guy and his matches. It's just usually he's written like shit.
I'm just tired of him in general. I don't mind his work rate. His matches are usually really solid. I'm just tired of believe that.
Yeah.
Well, now he's the guy
with his yard.
So yeah, I think they finally. I am excited for them to get this over with, and finally have Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar like they wanted to 3 years ago, and now everything can move on.
I'm going on my own with this one again. I'm going to go with some other rumors that Lesnar is going to retain, and then after Mania, he's going to go against Lashley. That's been a rumor that's been going around, and I think that one could work. I think
that's fucking nonsense.
It could be.
That'd be hilarious. I'd love that.
It would be hilarious.
Either way, I still think
it's nonsense.
I still think Lesnar is going to win. The big thing is everyone talks about, he's going to UFC. We're going to see him in the octagon next. He still has a suspension he needs to serve before he could do shit in UFC.
Yep.
So he could quit tomorrow, and we won't see him in MMA until mid 2019, if that. I don't think he has a shot with UFC anymore. I think Vince McMahon and Dana White are on a good enough relationship that they'll just fuel these rumors and keep the fire burning just to see like how much more money it makes everybody. But I don't think Lesnar's leaving.
All right. Fair enough.
Next match.
That is perhaps the boldest of predictions.
Hey, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to go out on a limb. Yeah. Next match, Daniel Bryan making his long-awaited return to the ring in Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for Kevin and Sami's jobs back. I'm going with Kevin and Sami winning this. I don't think they're gonna end up, out of jobs unless they both go to Raw, You mean going to Raw? Yeah. I think one of the two, Daniel or Shane, are going to turn and align with Kevin and Sami.
Yeah, you see the shenanigans angle. Yes,
the shenanigans. There's going to be a lot of shenanigans at Mania.
I like the idea of the Shane McMahon turn and then setting up him in opposition to Daniel Bryan, just so Daniel Bryan has an authority to rage against on SmackDown.
And Shane's been getting booze lately, too.
He's a dick. He's been on the wrong side of this whole thing. He needed to get over this thing like months and months ago. After Hell in a Cell, it's over. That was Hell in a Cell. It's done. Finito. And then here we are 6 months later, and he's still like fucking them over at not Elimination Chamber, Fastlane. I can never remember the name of that pay-per-view.
Great Balls of Fire.
It's like, just get over it, man. Move on with your life. Stop it.
God.
You stop it. Go to timeout. Yeah. But it's hard to not see Daniel Bryan winning in his return match. But if there are shenanigans, then there could be Daniel Bryan not winning in his return match. So yeah,
they're gonna want people to feel good. I feel like everything's going to be stacked against Daniel Bryan. Even if Shane turns against him, they're going to want Daniel Bryan winning so he can do his yes thing and everyone's happy. And there's money in it, and when there's money in it, they'll roll with the punches.
True.
See, if they want the feel good ending, I could see Shane turning on him, costing him the match, or like laying down for Kevin or Sami so that they get their jobs back, and Shane's the heel now, and then post match, Bryan beating the shit out of Shane.
That's true.
To get the yes chance and the happy ending there. I could see that happening. More tag matches, the Usos and the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers fighting for the SmackDown tag titles. We already have one guest for the Bludgeon Brothers.
No, I am not picking the Bludgeon Brothers. No. I just like to say Bludgeon Brothers.
Well, Tim, who are you going with?
One, I wish this wasn't a triple threat. I wish this was just Usos and New Day.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a tough one to call. It's kind of coin flippy to me between Usos and New Day. Do they do the New Day for a feel good moment? It's tough because they have this like balance in the back of their minds as to like how many heels win, how many faces win. Unless it's like WrestleMania from 2 years ago when just all the heels won and it sucked. There was nothing to feel good about at all. But everyone likes the Usos, everyone likes the New Day, so I don't know. I think it's going to be good. I wish it was not a triple threat is kind of my thought, but it's going to be great. There's good people involved. Yeah.
So coin flip for you, Eddie. What do you think?
New Day. I know they're a little bit high on giving them many tag team reigns. So
yeah, that's true.
Eventually say, the 17-time tag team champion. So,
you're 47-time tag champs and feel the power.
It's New Day. Like, they're going to give them the win. They're going to, some people, it's a balance. You got to give certain people the joy of the win, giving it to the faces, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
But also it's a business thing. They got to give them those. It's the marketing thing. They're a hot item.
Got to sell them bootios.
They need
mm-hmm.
Yeah, they need that. Multiple reigns that they want. So they're gonna go New Day.
All right. Yeah.
I'm still hoping that we're gonna see them turn this into a TLC match. That was the rumor for a bit, and maybe they'll pull like what they did with the Hardys last year and just the last minute change that. Yeah, well, you guys have been fighting so hard. This is now a TLC match for the SmackDown tag titles. My thoughts on who's winning? Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. I think they're taking it.
Sure.
Next match on the lineup, we'll keep it with the tag teams as Cesaro and Sheamus are going against.
A lot of tag matches on this show.
There are against Braun Strowman and his mystery partner. First question: who do you think his mystery partner is?
I feel like it's either going to be Joe or Rey Mysterio.
Same.
Oh, Rey Mysterio.
I feel like that David and Goliath combination is pretty awesome visually. So I can see them potentially doing that. But I feel like Samoa Joe makes the most sense. Like he comes back big, as it was mentioned earlier. And I mean, him and Braun would fuck shit up.
Yeah, and that's the reason I don't have Joe showing up in the Andre Battle Royale, because I have him as possibly Braun's partner along with Ray, because that's been a rumor for a while. And then if we're going just completely batshit crazy, fucking Ellsworth.
I've heard that as the batshit crazy pick. I think it could be nobody. It could just be Braun just trucking him by himself because he is Braun Strowman.
We'll go back to I am the tag team champions.
Yeah, I am the tag team champions. I could see him walking with Elias, which would be funny just after pummeling him with instruments last month.
It would.
Elias is also not a bad pick for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, Memorial Battle Royal, as it were.
I think Elias is going to do something different, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, I've heard. Or Big Show for one last. I mean, Big Show's fallen off the face of the planet, but just for like old big guy, new big guy. I don't know. I thought he was in good shape. Injury. I don't know.
Might have been something nagging.
I also remember seeing him complaining about having to go to the TV tapings with nothing to do. Just like, just send me home if you're not going to use me.
Yeah. So who wins this one? I think whoever did, Braun is going to be the tag team champion.
Braun.
We're all in agreement on something. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Finally.
It's Braun. They have to throw that bone because I think a lot of people would have rather seen Braun Strowman going up against Brock Lesnar. But this is the consolation. And if they have Braun lose, then that is the ultimate sadness.
That is so sad.
Well, let's talk about the women's. Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. I'm going Alexa on this. I think they're just going to keep the title on her.
I feel like they're going to swerve things a little bit and finally give Nia her title run. Although I feel like she'll lose it the following month back to Alexa, but I feel like they're going to give her little moment right now.
Her pity belt.
I don't know if it's a pity one, but it's like, I think it would be sad if, Alexa, shit on her for a month and she didn't get that retribution. Like, this is a match in which I just want to see Nia, truck her in under a minute and win the belt.
I could see that happening and then losing to a roll-up.
Maybe.
Keep the belt on Alexa, but she got her ass beat.
No, I do think it's one of those situations where you have it on Nia for a month or so, and then it quickly goes back to Alexa because she's awesome.
They're gonna Charlotte and Sasha the women's title again on Raw.
A little bit, yeah.
Eddie, what do you think?
Oh my goodness. That's the thing. I feel like there's this whole long build up that's occurring, and I guess it's kind of a spoiler for later. It's kind of obvious. I mean, it's how could it be Charlotte? I mean, it's just obvious. It's obvious. I want to explore this more later when we talk about Miss Rousey, but I want to hear you guys.
All right. Did we officially move on to Charlotte and Asuka then?
I believe we did, yes.
I think we did too. So yeah, Charlotte and Asuka versus the SmackDown Women's title. Clearly Asuka. There's no other.
No one is ready for Asuka.
No one.
Yeah, no one. She is my WW waifu. So yeah,
your wife.
I thought we officially skipped to that. Did I ever give an answer to Nia or Alexa?
Oh, I don't know. That's what I was asking you, and then you started talking about Charlotte.
Oh no, because I heard the audio stop, and I heard Charlotte, and I'm like, pity win for Nia, but Asuka's gonna win. I can't entertain anything else.
I don't know if there's any. I'm sure even Charlotte is putting money on Asuka for that match. She's like, I'm fucked.
It should be. I expect it to be a great match, though. If nothing else, I expect it to be very good.
True, very true. Next match is one that I gave very, very little shits about until...
Wait. Okay, one thing. What do you guys see a possible scenario where What's Her Nuts cashes in Carmella on either match? Like, could she cash in on the Raw match?
I don't think
immediately
she can.
Screw over Nia. Oh, dude, whatever. Come on.
I mean, yeah, it is WWE. They could change shit however they want.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure that was limited to SmackDown only, but who knows?
Did they ever specify? I almost feel like I don't think they ever specified, and I feel like they can actually use that in storyline. Like you guys said a women's championship, but you never said SmackDown or Raw. So for all, I mean, she's been doing that on SmackDown every week, so it would be an interesting swerve if she did. Yeah, show it up and pin a dead Alexa Bliss. Like, as you say, after the roll up, she's like freaking blah, and she comes in and gets the win.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
It's like, I feel like, it would suck for, Carmella to be the first Money in the Bank women's contract holder. And if she's locked to SmackDown and Asuka's the champion, then your scenario is either, well, she doesn't cash it in and win, or she cashes in and breaks the streak. Which I personally think would be hilarious if there's this long grueling match between Charlotte and Asuka, and in comes Carmella, bashes Asuka with the case, wins the title, runs away, the streak is broken, Asuka's pissed, Asuka is stuck on Raw while the belt she lost is on SmackDown. So she spends the next 4 months raging against Carmella and like jumping her at the cross-brand pay-per-views until she gets her rematch.
Oh my God, that would be incredible.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
To fucking give the streak to Carmella. Oh, dude, my Lord.
That is actually, I think, the thing to do, and have like, because then Asuka can start losing matches, like just out of like pure rage. Like she just like is not focused. She loses matches. She's pissed off and focused on this thing. And because I've seen people that complain about the streak because it's boring and you know what's going to happen. And, if they're going to go with the rumored scenario of keep her undefeated till next year for a super fight with Ronda Rousey, like, it might run out of steam for another year, but who knows? But I like my dark timeline.
Your dark timeline would be pretty fucking fun. So, but yeah, moving on. Match that I didn't really give too many shits about at all until the past week or two. But Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Jinder, the fucking boring ass piece of shit Mahal, and then Rusev Day for the U.S. title. What do you guys think of this one?
It's weird how invested I became in this match about 2 weeks ago.
It's like they added someone that people liked and cared about, and it all changed.
They added a certain something to the match. Oh man, if I could pick, what was that? We lost Eddie?
Did we?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
It wasn't me this time.
Yay!
Sweet. It's just all these hot tags. I was gonna say, if I could pick one result for the entire evening, the one that I would pick is Rusev winning the United States Championship.
That would be pretty great if he did.
Oh my God. It is the one thing that I want out of WrestleMania, and I am, of course now mortified that I'm not going to get it. I do enjoy, as much as I don't care for Jinder Mahal, him declaring that he will be the supreme ruler of the United States of America if he were to win the belt. I think that's funny.
Oh man.
But man, please, look at your calendar. WrestleMania is on Rusev Day. Come on now.
Well, that's funny because we're recording this on Rusev Day.
I know. It's funny how that works. And you're posting it on Rusev Day as well.
I am. The call will be up on Rusev Day. So if you are interested in checking out the show and you missed part of it, on Rusev Day, the episode will be up for you to listen to. Cloven Casey in the chat with delete. Should have been here when we were talking about the Andre Battle Royale. You missed out on that one.
Yeah. I was so not into this match until Rusev was involved. I have been done with Captain Boring Randy Orton for a decade, at least at this point. Bobby Roode, I do not enjoy as a good guy. Jinder Mahal, I do not enjoy. And Rusev is amazing and hilarious and a wonderful human.
I I think we are losing Eddie again. Oh, wait.
He's back.
Hey, he's back. Yay.
Back just in time.
Tim was happy it wasn't him this time.
Yeah, I was elated.
Yeah, so Orton, Rude, Jinder, and Rusev U.S. title. Eddie, what do you think?
Oh,
Shit, are we losing you again?
He cut out again.
Rusev Day. That is my guess. I'm going with Rusev. I think if they want to make people happy with this match in any way whatsoever, Rusev needs to win it, and Bobby Roode needs to turn heel.
Please.
Like, for the love of God, please.
That's honestly what I wanted before the thing. The thing. Is I wanted Bobby to turn heel and Rusev to be his challenger at WrestleMania in a one-on-one match. That didn't happen, but I'm pulling for Rusev here.
Same. Eddie, are you back? I'm gonna go with a no on that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there.
Wait, there he is. There he is. What is going on with Skype tonight?
It's functioning as intended.
Hey, Eddie, are you there? What the fuck?
hello.
Hello.
Yeah, got a hello.
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 Am I present?
Yes, you are present.
I think I'm back.
I think so.
Oh my goodness, what the hell?
He's back.
Wow, the disease of you carried over. All right, what did I miss?
What did I miss?
Oh my lord.
Charlotte Asuka.
I heard Charlotte Asuka there. You're I don't know if your connection is just dying that badly or what's going on. This is hilarious though. Eddie, if you're there, we're still picking Orton, Rude, Jinder, and
my connection is
Yeah, it's coming in. I'm seeing like a call quality information thing on
Yeah, it's showing just that I don't have a webcam.
Yeah, I mean I made sure that mine was off so as not to interfere. I don't know, but
I don't know, it might just be something on his end.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. Skype is a cruel mistress.
It is. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I know what we'll do. We'll talk about the Intercontinental title match with
Good call.
The Miz, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. First off, who wins? And number two, do we see the Demon?
I don't know. It feels like they forgot about the Demon lately, or they want us to have forgotten about the Demon. The thing about the Demon is if the Demon's there, the Demon wins, but I kind of don't think they do it. Mainly because I think the Miz is winning. I think he might be the only champion to retain at WrestleMania this year.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I agree.
Oh my God.
There he is.
He's there. Quick, Rude,
Hello,
Jinder, Rusev, and Orton before you disconnect. Pick one.
Rusev Day. He wins. Boom.
Rusev Day.
All right. Am I all caught up?
I think so. We just moved on to Miz, Rollins, and Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title. What do you think on that one?
Oh, Finn. You're going to give Finn his little delayed push, give him his little moment since he got the short end of the stick when he got injured the first time. And then he had to take the back seat. They can't give him the Universal title just yet. So I feel like they're going to build that up a bit and he's going to have a feud with Jess Rollins.
Okay, do you think the Demon shows up?
The Demon's definitely showing up. It's WrestleMania.
All right. If Demon, then Finn. Otherwise, I pick the Miz.
Makes sense. I agree with that one. I think we will see the Demon because we need to have a Demon WrestleMania entrance. And I think they've been ignoring the Demon for a while on purpose to kind of save it for big moments.
Did they do Demon against AJ Styles in that match? I don't remember.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Has he done it since he came back?
I don't think so.
Wait. Since Bray Wyatt.
Well, he was going to do it. Oh wait, yes, because after that they did the man versus man match.
Yeah, because
the greatest of stipulations.
And then they were going to do Demon versus Sister Abigail, and
then everything went probably for the best, really, if we're being honest.
But yeah, it seems like we're all in agreement that if there's a Demon, Finn gets it. Otherwise, Miz is keeping it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next match, Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Does Ronda Rousey debut with a loss?
Oh yeah, sure. She's just gonna get wiped by Stephanie McMahon, I'm sure. Did you see that choke slam on Monday? No, fucking no. What? Come on, man. It's just like Kurt Angle's just gonna get beat up for most of this match, and then Ronda's gonna get tagged in and truck Stephanie and probably throw around trips a bit too. And man, Triple H is starting to look real old, right?
So haggard.
Oh my God, it's so sad. He needs to stop.
He needs to trim the beard a little bit. Cloven Casey in the chat says he thinks Angle's going to turn on Ronda.
That's
Do you see that happening?
No.
No.
No. Nah.
No, nothing at all.
So, I feel like Angle and Ronda is going to win because they're about to do this mega big push with Ronda. She's going to be unstoppable. She's going to be undefeated. And it's one of two things is going to happen. She is either going to she is going to face Asuka next year's Mania. I feel like that is the end goal. Undefeated Ronda versus undefeated Asuka for the title.
Oh, man.
Part of me almost thinks that with all these rumors that the separate shows of SmackDown and Raw, they're going to start being more interconnected. I almost have a feeling that somehow, some way, Ronda is going to win one title, Asuka is going to win the other, and they're the main event next year's Mania.
Yeah, well, they're doing joint pay-per-views now, starting next one after WrestleMania. Well, actually, starting with WrestleMania, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, from there on forward, they will be shows. Yeah, I don't know. I just want Asuka to always win, and I don't know about like Ronda. You know, she's not fully formed as a wrestler yet.
No.
Not that that's going to stop them from doing anything with her, but you know, she's still kind of a quiet talker. She's a little awkward in the ring. She's still got a ways to go, and you know, you got to see how things are going to go over the course of the next year. Like, is she going to get injured? Like, how hard is the crowd going to turn on her? Because they're going to. So you know, we'll see. Plans always change, but
I'm going out of left field on this one. I think Ronda is going to turn on Kurt.
Ooh.
And side with Triple H and Stephanie.
Ooh, dirty.
I mean, Ronda's already gotten a little bit of booze here and there. Mixed reception. People are concerned about how well she's going to do in the ring. There's still people who don't think she's going to stick around, and they think all of that stuff is just, you know, making shit up so that people believe that she's there for long term. And no one knows what's going to happen after WrestleMania. Is she going to show up on every Raw? Is she going to show up at every pay-per-view? Is she for real with this?
I mean, she was on every Raw before WrestleMania, right?
She missed like one or two.
Well, they said she was she was advertised, and then she was quickly de-advertised. So it was just funny.
I think the one that she really missed, because there was one she wasn't on, but she did a off-air segment where she beat up Dana Brooke.
Right. Yeah, that was during the
I think
deletion.
They said that the one that she really, really missed was when she was in Pittsburgh doing her medical stuff. So that, you know, she was still doing wrestling stuff.
Sure.
So,
fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Ronda's going to side with Triple H and Stephanie, and they're just going to whip the shit out of Kurt, and Kurt's going to be embarrassed out of his position, and you're fired, and he'll just go back to wrestling. You know, with all of his mobility.
Yeah.
Final confirmed match on the card, and I seriously hope this is the actual headliner of the night.
Wait. Can we talk about John Cena first?
I was going to do that stuff after.
Okay, fair enough. You're the boss.
But I hope this is the true headliner, final match of the night. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura could be one of the greatest matches of all time.
Oh my goodness.
Who wins?
This is the fact that we have this match is absolutely bonkers. Like 3 years ago, if you would have asked anyone if this was going to happen, they'd be like, oh, no. But look at it now, at a Mania.
At a Mania, that's really the thing, is a WrestleMania.
That is crazy. But I still remember slightly being disgruntled last year when Shinsuke couldn't beat Jinder, but it's all to build up to this moment where Shinsuke gets his title. Oh, hindered.
Fucking Jinder.
I really hated him last year. Oh my goodness! But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Shinsuke is going to get his title. He's going to have a nice little handshake with AJ. They're going to put on a 5-star match. It's probably going to go like 35 minutes. It's going to be freaking baller, and it's going to probably be the best story, the best match, the best outcome on the card by a mile.
So
Tim,
we're
what do
kind
you
of
think?
excited for this match. Is that what we're saying here? Is that
Yeah.
where we're
A smidge. A smidge.
a smooge excited for this match?
Tim, what do you think?
This should be match of the night given enough time. I think Nakamura wins probably. Because I think this is his moment. And yeah, it should be great, really.
I agree. I think this
lives
is
up to expectations.
This is definitely Shinsuke's match to win. I think a lot of it comes down to AJ Styles working hurt, and he's going to take some time off, heal up some injuries, and maybe around SummerSlam come back and him and Shinsuke have a rematch at SummerSlam.
I would dig that.
But yeah, those are all the matches, and you might notice a big name like John Cena not on. John Cena. What do you guys think is going on with Cena? Is Undertaker going to show up? Are they going to fight? Is there just going to be a segment or a kerfuffle happen? What's happening?
This whole thing has been a mess.
Man. This
has been such a mess.
It's so weird. Oh my god.
Cloven Casey thinks he's just going to stay in the stands, have his final say, but just hang out there with the fans.
So, the build up to this has been so dank ass and unfortunate. Literally, John Cena's coming out and pouting, complaining, talking about leaving your balls, blah blah blah. I mean, theoretically, this could have been a great build up. Like, I mean, that first day when he came out and he was calling out the Undertaker, I mean, like, okay, cool, where does it go from here? Like, freaking find ways to get Undertaker to show up, put your career on the line, career versus career or something like that. But it was all squandered, and now John Cena's going to show up at Mania, Undertaker's going to come out. Essentially a technically unadvertised match because it hasn't been made prior to the event. And they fight for like 8 minutes but I feel like there could have been such a bigger build up. I feel like it was completely squandered. And I will piss myself if they freaking come out, they have a little exchange and they set up the match for next Mania.
Oh my god.
That's what some people online were saying.
I will lose it. I will lose it.
I was down with the idea that they were going to have a segment to set up a match for like SummerSlam or something like that. That like last year, okay, that's going to be Taker's last WrestleMania match, but then they'll do his like retirement match at SummerSlam. Though I wish they would just be done with Undertaker. Kind of man is old AF.
Last year he was not. It was clear he was done. Just he couldn't make it through that match.
Well, I'm just trying to.
He
figure
waddled.
Are they like just actually sending John Cena out there to try to antagonize him into a match? Do they actually have a plan? Like, it's so weird. I just don't get it. Like, when just nothing happened on Raw, everyone was just like, "What?"
That's actually why I really enjoy this buildup, because everything that we knew was going to happen hasn't happened. And now we're legitimately sitting here like, what the fuck is going to happen? Like, this, I applaud them for doing this because it's so different from what they would normally do. Like, if they were still heavily relying on pay-per-view numbers, Undertaker would have been confirmed a month ago. Mm-hmm. And now that it's all about, their network numbers and people are already paying $10 a month, we don't have to worry about spending $75 on a single pay-per-view. They're trying something different, and I'm really digging it. I don't know what's going to happen. I think one of the funniest things that I saw was that John Cena is going to come out. He's just going to be partying with fans. Maybe they'll give him some mic time and talk to some fans there. After the Hall of Fame ceremony, Kid Rock's going to do a performance. American Badass is going to start playing. Taker comes out on a bike. Badass is here. He just drags Cena over the railing and beats the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of the ideas of like, oh, okay, it's going to be American Badass Undertaker. Like Undertaker is done.
What do you guys think on that? Are we going to see Badass Taker or Dead Man Taker?
I was never a fan of American Badass Taker. It's essentially it's like Undertaker on his days off. He's just freaking just like puts his bandana on and phones it in. I was never a big fan of his American Badass. I mean, it's like you go from the greatest gimmick in professional wrestling to essentially
the underbiker.
Your day off wear. Like, should I get dressed for work today, Undertaker?
But that was what the Undertaker was when Cena first started, so that would be bringing things full circle. I like the idea. I like the random prediction of Taker being Braun's partner. And just coming out and being like, what? I want to win the tag titles. Like, he'll just do it for me. I can just stand here, like, there, done.
And Cena
boom.
just looks so sad in the crowd, like a single tear.
Look at me. I just won a title at WrestleMania.
And Cena's like, I wanted a match with you. Well, you should have fought with Braun, dickhead.
Yeah. Or maybe Cena will be Braun's partner. That would be
if Big Evil comes back and we get Biker Taker again. Does he stick with Kid Rock music? Does he go back to Limp Bizkit music?
I don't think they can say. Can they say American Badass on TV PG?
God,
I mean they've said bitch a few times, so badass is fine.
Man, I just got offended thinking about it.
Or do we go with a newer awful band? Like, does he switch over to Nickelback music?
We need to stop this conversation right now.
Oh my goodness.
One other huge name that has been rumored as showing up, I think you guys brought up Elias before. I think Elias could have an in-ring segment and get interrupted by The Rock. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, I've heard that possibility as well.
Do you guys see The Rock showing up?
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe. I feel like there's more money on the idea of Jericho showing up, because at least he shows up.
And oh my God, Jericho and Braun. Oh my God.
Oh, there's an idea.
Ooh, yeah, Jerabron.
My favorite theme song of all time in wrestling is still the Jera Show theme from Maylene and Sons of Disaster. I fucking love that song. Crank the walls down. Oh, so good. We'll break the walls down. It's the big
Good old Jera Show.
Jericho, you know I got you.
I guess you did like that song.
I do. I really fucking love it. I'm going to break from tradition on this episode. Instead of playing video game songs, I'm going to play some wrestling songs, and that'll probably be one of them. I'll browse the YouTubes and see which ones are on fan videos and see which ones I could get away with.
Oh boy. Yeah, it seems like, you got to have a couple of weird, funny segments in the middle of your WrestleMania that's already going to be endlessly long. So why the hell not?
Those
Walk with Elias.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. But that covers the entire show. Is there anything else from NXT, WrestleMania, or even Raw the next night that you think we might see? Something cool might happen before we end this? Happen,
I think. I don't know. I don't know what might happen on Raw after Mania, because usually something big happens. There's either like a big return, or that could be when Samoa Joe shows up. Or Bobby Lashley, apparently. I guess. I wasn't watching when Bobby Lashley was big, so I'm just like, I don't really care about him.
People are excited based off his impact and, work elsewhere.
He's improved.
Oh, sure. But, I don't know. That could be, like I said, that could be when Joe comes back. I don't know. I don't know what might happen Raw after Mania, because I don't know if there's any big signings. I don't know who would come up from NXT that would be like a huge deal right now. So I saw someone's fan booking of Roman Reigns as Universal Championship holder coming out on Raw and calling out the Shield to celebrate with him, but then Seth and Dean come out, but then he's like, no, I said the Shield, and then the Authors of Pain come out and beat the shit out of them, thus forming a new Shield.
Ooh. Yeah, I would love to see that, just because I know my girlfriend's a real. She's just so into the Shield, and I would love to sit next to her and see that go down. She would flip out, and it'd be amazing. I feel like 90% of the audience would flip out. Like, what is this? What? How? That would give him so much heat. That would be amazing.
Yeah. It would be. I think it would be a great pairing.
Just think, Heyman turns on Lesnar, Roman goes heel, and he turns into a chicken shit where he gets the Authors of Pain to be his muscle.
Yep.
That would be pretty awesome. That'd be cool.
That would be big.
That will not happen.
Yep, I know. It would be great, but no.
Oh, man. Well, guys, it has been amazing having you both on. I need to do wrestling shows more often, so maybe around SummerSlam we'll do this again.
Yeah, sure. When they do it at one of the big weekends. I think they're making Money in the Bank one of the big weekends, too.
Ooh, are they?
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be cool.
Yep. I think that's getting a takeover and everything.
Cool. So what do you guys think of doing this on takeover weekends?
I am down for that.
Sure. Yeah.
Awesome. And hopefully Skype will treat us better. But
it couldn't treat us worse.
True. Everyone else, stick around. We're going to take a quick break. Be back with more of your regularly scheduled video game programming. Eddie, do you have any final words to wrap this up?
By God, a year has passed so quick.
Oh God, don't get philosophical.
I mean, that's just like, man, what am I doing with my life?
Time is an ocean and we're all drowning.
Glub, glub.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. Thanks again to Tim and Eddie for hanging out and chatting wrestling with me. I don't get to do it enough because I'm too busy talking about games, and that's what we're about to do. Cole Martin, you were here. How are you doing?
All right. How are you?
Oh, I'm tired. I just talked about wrestling for over an hour, so...
Did you have fun, though?
Yeah, when Skype wasn't fucking up on us. See, you missed the fun when you didn't hang out in the chat because, like, shit just went crazy. Tim disconnected. He had a hard crash. Eddie fell out a few times. Near the end, he started getting like static interference in his calls. Whatever. We talked about wrestling and it was fun and I can't wait to do it again. I miss it. Like no one else I know really talks about wrestling or cares about wrestling, and
I'm not a wrestling fan.
It was fun. I got to enjoy it. But we are gonna do some normal video game stuff now. Start with the news, I guess.
Let's go.
Cool. 2 games were added to the Xbox One backward compatibility program this week, and I am pretty pumped about these. First one, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which, not too huge, but it was a game with gold. So a lot of people have it and a lot of people are excited.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about it because Black Flag, other than Origins, is the only other Assassin's Creed I've never played. Like, I
Really?
just play them all. But then I was just like, I don't know, boats. I didn't like the naval combat in 3, and I just didn't want to deal with it in 4.
Really?
And so I just never played it. I just skipped it, even though everybody's like, oh my god, that one was the best. And I'm just like, eh. But we have it. We have it on the 1. We had it on the 360. Maybe I'll get around to actually playing it at some point.
Well, now's your opportunity to do so since it is playable on Xbox One. I was more excited at the fact that the other game is Divinity 2, the Dragon Knight Saga. Another RPG.
I've never played any of these.
It's an action RPG. We have a new RPG on Xbox. I know Divinity 2 first released on Xbox One or on Xbox 360, and then it got re-released by Atlas as the Dragon Knight Saga, which had some fixes and updates to it. I'm thrilled it's here. Because they came out on Tuesday and not today, Thursday, I was able to go and keep an eye on their GameStop prices. I always love doing this. Black Flag went from $14.99 to $19.99, which, I kind of expected that to happen.
Yeah.
Divinity 2, the Dragon Knight Saga, went from $2.99 to $9.99.
Wow.
Yeah, I was honestly amazed that it was that cheap to begin with.
$2.99 though.
To $10. So it more than tripled in price. Holy shit, GameStop. Speaking of Divinity Original Sin 2 was announced that it will be hitting Xbox One and PS4 in August, so I'm excited about that as well.
I saw that as well, and then I was still like, I don't know anything about these, so I guess I have to do some research.
They're good RPGs. RPGs. Yes, RPGs. Good stuff. I really enjoyed the first Original Sin. That one is on Xbox. You should check that out sometime at least.
It was on the original Xbox?
Oh, Xbox One.
Oh, okay. I thought you said the original. I was like, what?
No, the original Divinity Original Sin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Was on Xbox One. I mean, I wish I were drunk.
Same.
And then we can't talk new game announcements this week without acknowledging that finally, as expected, a Spyro Original Trilogy remaster was announced today and is set to release this September on the PS4 and the Xbox One. That's right.
If I wasn't
Go ahead.
If I wasn't fat and arthritic, I'd put the phone down right now and just go run around the room and go, Spyro, because I'm so fucking excited for Spyro.
But that is right. There is no stupid bullshit Sony-only exclusivity this time around.
No exclusivity, not even timed.
It is a bummer that Nintendo is left out of the initial launch. I know Nintendo UK, their website still had a listing for the game. So I'm wondering if it's just going to be like a couple months later or something like that.
Well, maybe they just want to announce it at a direct or something instead of, because it was leaked and then they kind of just were like, oh yeah, well, I guess you caught us. Here we go.
No.
You know? So I feel like maybe we weren't even supposed to know Spyro was coming until E3 and just kind of fell out anyway.
Everybody knew. And then
I knew there were rumors of it, but I was very convinced it was going to be PlayStation only.
Oh, everyone thought that.
And so I wasn't even going to let myself hope it could be on Xbox, which is stupid because Xbox we've had Spyro games on Xbox that weren't Skylanders. I have one for the 360 that is, tucked away safely in a drawer because I looked it up on eBay and it was like $150. And I was like, yeah, that one's not ever going anywhere.
Holy shit.
Because it's apparently incredibly rare to find it. And I was like, yes, that Spyro staying close to home.
I still have that one.
So I lost my train of thought after that. Thanks, Joe.
Yay, mission accomplished.
You can get it done now before we get to the reviews and I'll be okay.
I know I used to have the one on 360. I can't remember if I traded it or if I'm still holding it. It's only $45 on GameStop, so that's a positive.
45 on GameStop.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll go backward compatible.
I don't know. Well,
I think I actually, on the Xbox the 360 marketplace, you could get it for $20 digitally.
Nice.
And I remember that because I tried to convince Shiz to play it. and he looked it up to see how much it was, and it was $20. So it's not crazy expensive to get it digitally if you don't have it physical. But if you do have it physical and you intend to sell it, you could rake in a little change on it.
Yeah, if I still have it, I might have to look into doing that.
So that's an option. But I would like for it to go backward compatible.
Yeah, it would be nice. I apparently do not own it digital. So if I do have it, which I would hope I do because I like Spyro, it would be physical. So I guess we'll see. And if I don't own it yet, I'll just fucking buy it digital because I don't want to spend $45 goddamn dollars at GameStop when I could get it digitally for $20. And that's not even on sale. That's just the digital price for it,
that's
$20.
Just the price. I wonder if it was lower and just got jacked up because of the day. Because everybody would be like, Spyro! What the fuck, Spyro?
No, I know that one's always been expensive.
Has it always
at GameStop, yeah.
Ah, good old GameStop.
Yeah, good stuff. But, I don't know. I think that's all the news I have. Oh, no. Below has resurfaced at PAX East. Have you heard about this?
No.
Remember Capybara Games, their game Below from like 2013, some shit like that?
Like, I am not familiar with Below as far as why it's so heavily hyped, but I see it mentioned a lot as far as like hyped games that have disappeared into the void.
I think that's part of why it's gotten so much hype, because it just kind of disappeared for a while.
Disappeared. So it has resurfaced.
It is here. It is here at PAX East, which hopefully bodes well for possibly a release this year. That would be really, really, really nice.
Yes. What is it even supposed to be?
I don't remember. It's been so fucking long since I've heard about it. I legitimately don't remember much about the game at all, which is sad to say.
Fantastic.
But
that helps with my whole, I don't even know what it is other than a game that people mention argument. So
I wanted to read up more on it today so that I could be prepared for this shit. But I just did an 1.5 hour long wrestling show. So I didn't have the time to do it.
Cole's going to have a question about this game because he's a dumbass that hasn't heard of anything. And yet I'm just going to talk wrestling.
It's okay. I'm a dumbass too.
Okay. How'd you let me be a co-host on a gaming podcast when I don't know any of these games?
CJ was a co-host. The requirements are very low.
It's true. She talks funny. We'll take her.
But yeah, that's the news I got for today. Is any news this week that you want to talk about? Did you just want to celebrate about Tom Clancy,
Spyro.
The Division getting the X patch again?
Yes. I mean, I'm in Spyro mode like today. Purple Dragon, everything. I might even do fan art for Spyro tomorrow. And I don't even like to do fan art, but I've just been like, I need to draw a purple dragon to make myself feel better.
Well, there you go.
September is far away.
Draw some Spyro. Spyro the Dargon. But yeah, if that's the news, guess what? We got some shit to give away. How about that?
I like to give things away.
Me too. We got RiftStar Raiders to give away. We asked y'alls on Twitter to tell us about your favorite twin stick shmup. I'm amazed that Carnage didn't enter with like 12 different entries talking about, oh, I love this shmup, and then this one. This one's really great. My favorite one is this one, and then my other favorite one is this one. But we got 5 entries to go through. Let us start off with Jack, who says, I really like Tyrion, even if it isn't a true traditional twin stick shmup, but a vertically scrolling shooter. It was always fun to play through. I also liked Raptor Call of the Shadows, which was quite similar in a lot of things. But to name a twin stick game, I would go with X-Morph Defense because it has a nice mix with the tower defense elements. Regards, Jack. So that is a good one. I guess we'll go with X-Morph on that.
Yeah. I wrote down the others, and I don't even know what they are.
Next email is from Martin Dippendahl, who says, "Hello, SML podcast. I always listen to your podcast while working. Thank you for the many hours of entertainment. My favorite twin stick shooter has got to be Geometry Wars 3, one of the best games out there for the genre. Keep doing what you're doing. Love from the Netherlands." This is a good entry, Martin. Thank you so much for that entry. So, Geometry
Are we sure
Wars
that
3?
Carnage didn't just, enter with fake names? Because Xmorph and Geometry Wars are definitely some of Carnage's favorites.
Well, Jack's entered before, so unless he is Jack and also from the Netherlands...
It could be a persona.
Could be.
People do that.
Very true. Anyway, next email is from Aroto Demedo, who says, "My favorite twin stick shooter is not exactly a twin stick shooter, but more of a character action / twin stick / shmup love child called Fury. Fury's beautiful in presentation and music, uses warm colors from purple to blue to yellow to white and so forth. All the characters are designed by Afro Samurai's creator, and the soundtrack goes to the Hotline Miami route with synthy music, created especially for the game, heavy beats and loud adrenaline-pumping sounds from Carpenter, Brute, and many others. It's a boss rush game, essentially. Every boss is a different theme, a different personality, different colors from the boss design all the way to the place you fight him. Camera changes and a lot of style, hard as balls too, and the most memorable of its genre for me. I put it up there with Cuphead, Inside, and so many other indie games that really left a mark in my life. Good times and wholeheartedly recommended. P.S. I never understood the slang hard as balls. Are we talking about human balls? Those are actually pretty fragile. The ball sack itself is usually super soggy. That was my old school nickname, Soggy Balls. And the balls itself are squishy, not hard. I guess they're talking about other balls." You know, we almost had just a normal entry from Aroto.
It just slid downhill so fast.
Oh, my Lord.
And for the record, when I say hard as balls, I tend to think it's like those Benoit balls. Those are hard.
Nice. Next email from John Prudlow, who says, "Dear SML Podcast, my favorite twin stick shoot 'em up game is Geometry Wars 3, because it's both visually stunning and progressively challenging with each new level that you unlock. The variety of different levels is also a huge plus. I would definitely recommend Geometry Wars 3 to anyone looking for a fun, great-looking twin-stick shooter that is challenging but can be played casually at your own pace. Thank you for the opportunity to win RiftStar Raiders, and thanks to the good folks at Climax Studios and Vision Games Publishing for providing this awesome game. Really enjoying Surf World series from them too after purchasing it a couple months back." We have another entry for Geometry Wars. Nice. And then Carnage saying, with all the twin stick love, he's going to drop a twin stick code in the chat. So if you're not in our chat while we're doing this shit, you're missing out on games, because we gave one away on stream as well, because I have fun doing that. Y'all are missing out. So if you're not hanging out in our Twitch chat, twitch.tv/the SML podcast while we're recording these, I don't blame you. Final email is from John Harvey, who says, "Holy shit, I finally just beat Breath of the Wild. Solved every shrine, collected every seed, did all the DLC, side quests, everything. Started at the end of January, took 275 hours altogether. Thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. Amazing game. Anyway, what was this week's homework again? Oh yeah, what's your favorite twin stick shooter and why? So here goes. Do you remember Smash TV? That was my first twin stick shooter. I fired 10 pence after 10 pence into the arcade machine. When it came out on Super Nintendo, I was absolutely delighted. For those who don't know or are too young to remember, it was heavily influenced by futuristic game shows in the films Running Man and RoboCop. Your character makes runs through the studio, killing waves of enemies to collect money and prizes, then fights a boss at the end of each stage. All the while, the commentator is throwing out cheesy 80s movie sound bites like "Total Carnage, I love it," and "I'd buy that for $1, a direct reference to the original RoboCop. Although I'd certainly say that Enter the Gungeon or Flint Hook titles are titles I also love, are better games mechanically, Smash TV will always have a special place in my heart. As I said, it was my first twin stick shooter, and it fit in with the culture of action movies that my friends and I were obsessed with at the time. Many hours were lost as we took control of Blue Guy and Red Guy as we tried to battle from one room further, trying to obtain that next high score or get enough keys to enter the game's Pleasure Dome. It's a game I always liked. Surely it could be worth updating for a sequel. The story would work just as well as it does today, or as well today as it did then. Anyway, I'd like to win a copy of RiftStar Raiders because I'd love to add to my twin-stick shooter library. Give me dual-stick shmup to play after I finish Tesla vs. Lovecraft. So thanks for the chance and good luck, everyone. Oh, man. So 5 entries.
Yeah.
And 5 codes. Everyone's winning.
Well, what did I make notes for?
Yeah. I even tricked you with that one.
You did. I got punked.
I don't like
Congratulations, everybody.
I don't like to announce how many codes we have just because sometimes we get one in while we're reading, and I didn't want to start off and say, we have 5 entries and 5 codes, so everyone's winning. Just in case another email snuck in. Oh, man. So, yeah. Congrats to everyone. You're all getting a copy of the game, so I hope everyone enjoys it, and Carnage, maybe we'll have people to play with soon. I hope. Oh, man. All right, review time. Are you ready to do these?
Yes.
Okay, first game to talk about tonight is called Minit, developed as a collaboration between JW of VLAN Beer, Kitty Calis, the producer of Horizon Zero Dawn, Dominik Johann from Accounting Plus, and Jukio Kallio from Bleed 2 and Luftrausers. Published by Devolver Digital, released April 3rd on Xbox One, PS4, and Steam for $9.99. Minit is a peculiar little adventure played in 60 seconds at a time. Journey outside the comfort of your home to help unusual folks uncover countless secrets and overcome dangerous foes, all in the hopes of lifting a rather unfortunate curse that ends each day after just 1 minute. This game is goofy as hell. Basically, take the original Legend of Zelda, turn it black and white, and add a time limit. And that's kind of what this game is about. You start off in your house, you leave the house, explore down on a beach, and you find a mystical item that curses you and allows you to only live each day for 60 seconds. So you pretty much have to play this game 60 seconds at a time. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. As soon as that 60 seconds is up, your day's over, you go back to your house and you start all over again. Traditional old school Zelda format, you have to go through mini dungeons, take care of enemies, explore around, take care of side quests for people. The biggest thing with this game is knowing what you have to do and the easiest, quickest way to get there. As you progress through and unlock extra items and accomplish certain objectives that you have to do in the game, it will unlock shortcuts that allow you to travel to places quicker. It will even eventually unlock extra houses that when you go in, that's your new home. So when the minute runs up, you're not back at your original house, you're at this new one. So getting around town could be a little bit easier as the game progresses on. The biggest downside with this is just not knowing what to do. So much of the game is so fast paced and, you only have a minute to figure out what you got to do. So if you decide, I'm going to venture this way and you hit a dead end, that's pretty much a day wasted.
Your day's lost.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to tell where you're going and what you're doing with the whole black and white scheme? Does that affect it?
Not really. The game's fairly easy to understand where you are. There is a desert that is one of those like Lost Woods type of deals where you go in and, requires a certain path that you have to go through to get through. Otherwise, no, I haven't really had too much of an issue navigating the game. You kind of get the hang of where you're going. It makes you run through the same areas a number of times, enough to kind of implant it in your brain of like, this is the route to go. This is what you need to do without getting too lost. There were maybe 1 or 2 times I'm like, I don't remember where I am. So I would just wait out the minute. Oh, Carnage is saying every minute, just another minute, he's going to drop a code. I bet he's doing that with the game Minit. Yeah, it's a really, really cool game. It's interesting. It is weird to play a game like this that's limited to a minute at a time. It does make it easy for pick up and play. So if you only have a few minutes to play, well, good news. It only takes a minute to play the game. But, overall, $10 on this one. If you are a fan of old school Zelda style games, like I'm talking old school NES Zelda, SNES Zelda era, if you're a fan of those kind of games and you are intrigued by the prospect of only playing a game for a minute at a time, which, you don't only have to play it for a minute. You could play multiple days in a row, but you know what I mean. I'd give this one a buy. It's a really, really cool take on the genre, a really interesting formula with the time limits on it. And it's a fun game. If you're one of those people though, who cracks under pressure of a time limit and you're concerned about, oh, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this in this amount of time, it might be better to hold off for a sale. Either way, I still think this is something worth playing.
Nice.
But yeah, $10, buy it. Next game to talk about is called Enigmatis 3, The Shadows of Karkhala. Hopefully I said that right. Developed and published by Artifex Mundi. It released April 6th on Xbox One and PS4 for $14.99. What secrets does the ancient monastery hold high on its snow-covered mountain slope? What has brought the demonic preacher here, and can anyone stop him now that he is more powerful than ever? Cole, what are the answers?
The answers are spoilers. I can't tell you that. Nice try, Joe. Nice try.
I tried.
So, as with the rest of the Enigmatis series, we play as a private investigator who has, if you've been following the series this far, which you should have, it's one of the best ones Artifex Mundi has made. She has stumbled upon a case where there is a Reaper trying to raise Asmodai, who is the master of demons. That's as crazy as it sounds, and it's a very good explanation for everything that's happened. Is just a whole lot of crazy have led to a Reaper trying to raise the master of demons. That's Enigmatis in a nutshell.
Nice.
We actually begin Enigmatis 3 back at where the series started, which is back in Maple Creek, and then the private investigator and her partner who has been helping her, which is a NPC that she meets in the very first game. I'm trying to skip spoilers as much as possible. They find themselves in Tibet, hence the Karkhala, in order to try to stop the preacher from raising Asmodai. In order to do this, you have to solve puzzles. That's the way Artifex Mundi games play. That's the whole point and parcel here is just, it's puzzles. So you'll want to, obviously do the hidden objects, puzzles in order to find useful items and solve the puzzles around the world using the items that you find from the hops. If you're not a huge hop fan, or if you just find them particularly annoying, this one does have an option to play another type of mini game. It is not the mahjong we usually see, though. In this case, it is actually a memory matching game instead. So it's not. It's not.
Is Scott throwing you off with his comments in chat?
Yeah, he did. I was like, why is it red? Okay. Just Carnage interrupting me as usual.
Dick.
But it is a different mini game option, but I would have just preferred Mahjong. I just like the Mahjong one better. It's not a case of like this one being tied to an achievement though. In the others, you would have to do like 2 playthroughs in order to play all of the hops as Mahjong or whatever the other mini game was instead. And this one, it just wants you to do it once.
Nice.
So at least if you didn't enjoy the matching, you could get away with mostly skipping it and just playing the hops.
Are there achievements tied to the hidden object stuff as opposed to the memory stuff?
There always is. So in this case, there's always the one for getting, I think this time it's 5 items in under 5 seconds. There's usually some odd one that'll require speed that'll be like 3 items in 3 seconds, 5 items in 5 seconds or whatever. And then there's one that'll be like complete a hop in under a minute. Complete the hops without using skips and things like that. So those are always kind of just there for
the
Artifex
ones in
Mundi.
5 seconds and to be under a minute. That's when you just fucking click everything on the screen.
Well, that's the other hitch, is that there's 2 game difficulties. There's casual and there's expert. And if you want to get all the achievements, you've got to play it on expert. You can't get the speed achievements on expert just clicking mildly, like
yeah, because it locks you out.
Because it will, after a couple misclicks, it'll blur out the screen and won't let you click again for a few minutes. But if you're just gonna like rapid fire through it, then you just play on casual. I'm one of those weird people. I played the game on expert the whole way through, first run, because I've played. Well, I play so many of these that it's just like, okay, well, I know, let's go. and yet somehow every time I load up another Artifex Mundi game, I'm like, no, I still enjoy this. Okay.
They're solid games. I've always enjoyed the games. I know they had that controversy with the price increase, but nothing we could do about that.
I would like to tell myself that the price increase has paid off, though, because the animations in Enigmatis 3 have a notable improvement. They're not as... The wonky is how I described the other ones.
They don't look as much like a static image that is being stretched digitally. Exactly.
They look like proper animations. The movements, the mouth and the dialogue syncs up better. Whereas in the other ones, it was obvious that it had been dubbed over because it was originally in, I think it's Polish that they're originally created in, and then translated to English. So it was, I'd like to pretend that the price increase has already paid off, just because there is a notable improvement this time. We'll see with the next one, but for this one, it does look better.
Nice. So, $15 on this one. What is your verdict?
$15. You're going to get about 5 hours out of the campaign, and then there is a bonus chapter which will take you about another hour. And so with the improvements to the art, I always enjoy Artifex Mundi, and I always say buy it anyway, but this one is definitely one of the best. And the series as a whole, you can actually get the whole series bundled together. The Enigmatis Trilogy, and if that's if you're looking at any of them, you should just get them all. And I say definite buy it.
Nice. Sounds good. Next game to talk about is called Island Time VR, developed and published by Flight School Studio, released April 3rd on PlayStation VR and Steam for Oculus and Vive for $14.99. After a journey at sea, you are shipwrecked on a tiny island. Using your wit, ingenuity, and the advice of your new buddy, Carl the Crab, you've got to find a way to keep yourself from starving and survive as long as possible. Craft tools, fend off creatures, and try to signal an airplane, or you could just give up and die. Maybe. Just enjoy the sunset while you can, right? Almost makes you forget that you're in a desperate struggle against your own mortality. As you can tell, this is a survival game set on a deserted island. As soon as the game starts, your timer starts and your health is in constant drop mode. By the way, I love the story for this game is that, it starts you off on a ship with, the ship steering wheel that you could spin around as much as you want. And then a lever that just has go for moving forward. And as soon as you move forward, you crash because while you're on the boat, you could see the island directly in front of you. So it forces you to just crash onto this island. As soon as you land, again, you're there. There's no tutorials. There's no instruction. It doesn't tell you what to do, how to do anything. The first few times I died because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. After a while, I realized that the goal is to use the items that are around you, whether they're rocks, wood, sticks of bamboo, there's coconuts, there's fish swimming around. You have to use whatever's at your disposal to live as long as you can. From what I can tell, there really is no end to this game. It is just like a survive as long as possible. I'd imagine if you're able to survive long enough to manage your health, to get a fire started, that you have something that you're able to create smoke signals. Maybe you get rescued. I'm not good enough to find out. There's a trophy in the game for surviving like 10 minutes. Haven't got it.
Wow.
I'm not that good at this game. Part of that, aside from the whole zero tutorial, zero training, anything like that, this game needs to have a lot of room to move around. My living room space isn't the biggest in terms of room for play. There were a few times I needed to grab stuff out of the water or, extinguish my hands because they were on fire. And I couldn't do it because my awful shitty PlayStation camera couldn't see that far down, despite the fact that I have it on my TV angled downwards to the floor to get as much of the room as possible. It just wasn't detecting that I was going that far down that I'm trying to grab stuff out of the water. I had to get to a point where I would be just close enough to like a coconut floating in the water that I could hit the button and it would zoom to my hand. But when I was on fire and I needed to actually submerge my hand in the ocean, it wasn't happening. And there was nothing I could do outside of completely rearranging my living room that I would be able to, put my hands up. By the way, you catch on fire in this game.
I was about to say, can we back up to the fire?
Yeah, when you build a fire, obviously you have to have a piece of wood. You take 2 rocks, crack them together to create a fire. When you catch a fish, you throw it on the fire. You have to wait a couple of seconds for it to cook. And then as soon as it cooks, you have about a microsecond to pick it up and eat it before it catches into flames. It is very, very little time frame that you have to actually get the fish out so you can eat it. Once it catches fire, if you pick it up, your hand is on fire. If your other hand touches the flaming hand, that hand is on fire as well. If you touch anything on the island, it catches on fire. Yes, there is a trophy for catching the entire island on fire. Overall tracking was, when the camera could read me, it was solid enough to play through it. It's just the limitations of the camera are what is holding this game back. Carl the Crab, he's funny. Some of his lines could get kind of old after the first dozen times you hear him, but overall it is a funny, entertaining game. Carl the Crab definitely keeps me coming back to try again and see how good you can do. Your final score is pretty much based on how long you've survived, so the longer you live, the better. And even when you beat your time during a game, the game will like pop up a little window. It's like, hey, you set a new record. And Carl the Crab will be like, wow, this is better than you did the other time. So they'll acknowledge that you're doing better in the game, even if you're on fire. $15 on this one. If you have a large living room play space to play this, I think it's worth picking up and checking out. It's cheap enough as a VR title to not really put a strain on your budget, especially if, you own a fucking VR headset to begin with. If you've got a smaller living room, stay away because you're not going to have fun with it. Yeah. This is the part of the show where we do other pre-recorded shit. So go.
We don't pre-record shit. What are you talking about? This is all live right now. Okay,
then go to these other live ones that you're mysteriously not here for.
I was there. I was just quiet. I'm always lurking.
All right, next game to talk about is called Tengai, originally developed by Psychio, console version developed and published by Zero Div, released March 29th on the Switch for $7.99. A commander ruled an eastern plane for a long time, but his evil power extended to his neighboring countries, and the princess of a western country fell into his hand. Princess Futsu's soul is the last key for an ultimate creature's body to be completed. The ceremony will be held the next day at sunset. There is 1 day left. The tale starts now. Returning back after a very, very long hiatus, Tim Ekkebus, welcome back to the show.
I'm back.
I'm better than ever. Wait, we did that joke already.
Oh yeah, we've been there, but God,
so,
I should have.
What'd you think of Tengai?
Tengai is a cool game. This is, man, that was a lot of story for that is not really disclosed in the game. This is an arcade horizontal scrolling shooter game. Again, shoot, I just closed my notes like a freaking idiot.
Sweet.
I'm so smart. Came out back in 1996. Has seen not really so much outside of Japan. Yeah, so I'm sure. Yeah. either way. So yeah, horizontal scrolling shooter. You got like 5 characters to pick through, which have different bullet/damage spreads. You pick up power-ups, you pick up bombs, you dodge bullets, you kill enemies. It's a very straightforward scrolling shooter game. Unlike last week's Soul Blade, which was a weird curiosity/disaster type deal. This is actually a quality shooter. Well, a more palatable shooter, I guess I'll say. It didn't really like set my world on fire. It's not something that like broke through to my top tier of scrolling shooters of all time, but it's fun. It looks good. It's got really good looking sprites and animation. It's fun to get your power-ups up and be filling the screen with ninja stars and such. You have playing through the different characters is fun. Unlike Soul Divide, you can actually jack up the continues and just bully your way through the game so you can see the whole thing. Which actually is how you get better at arcade games. I used to play Metal Slug on my Neo Geo emulator, and I'd just sit there, drop quarters in till I beat the game. And eventually, after just playing it a bunch, I was able to beat it on a single credit.
Nice.
Eventually, you just take the training wheels off and you work your way down. There
you
is
and your emulation.
Yeah.
I hope you bought the real version now that it's out for $8.
Yeah. Oh, I have several versions of Metal Slug now. I mean, this was back in 99, 2000 when the only way you were playing Metal Slug was for a quarter in arcade or $500 at home.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Those days.
Sorry, I don't give a shit about pirating Metal Slug at that point in my life. But
we're reformed now.
This is well now once there was ways I could buy that game for a reasonable price, I did. And it wasn't too long after that. Metal Slug, anthology, SNK anthologies, way off topic.
Anyway,
this game's fun. It's very rooted in like Japanese mythology, with demons and whatnot. So I assume this is about $8.
$7.99 indeed. So for $8, what do you think?
Yeah, if you're looking for a shooter, check it out. It's basically the same, like, hey, fuck it, why not? Except instead of being like, hey, fuck it, check out this weird shooter that is bizarre and different from everything else, like Soul Divide, it's like, hey, fuck it, if you want a quality scrolling shooter on your Switch, like, here you go, boom, something you can quickly jump in and play, looks good, plays well, has like that full suite of emulation options that like Hamster and the other Psycho games have. Like, yeah, sure, absolutely.
Cool. And you got one more game to talk about that is called Sling Ming, developed and published by Goodnight Brave Warrior, released April 5th on the Switch and Steam for $11.99. Hook up to the Oxy Lane, a transit system that lets you fly through the air, swing around corners and defy gravity, embark on an intergalactic adventure, solve physics-based puzzles, and save your kingdom from the never-ending earthquakes. Tim, what the hell is this game?
So I'm usually kind of hesitant about taking on puzzle games because it takes a lot for a puzzle game to like really endear itself to me. Like sometimes I just get bored with the mechanics and it's tough for it to like, so I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll check this out. It looks neat and different. And I gradually found myself getting really addicted to it and like not wanting to put it down until I beat another level. This is really different from other puzzle or like action. It's, an action puzzle game. It's not like a things shit dropping from the ceiling or a match 3 type puzzle game. So you have this chick, Sling Ming, who is the way she has to get around. She's trying to stop these earthquakes in her kingdom. The only way to do this is she gets in the suit, straps herself to this like pulley system, which she uses to travel around to find the stuff she needs to stop the earthquake machine, which involves going to other planets, et cetera, et cetera. It's really complicated. You need intergalactic stuff. So you have like this bungee
stuff.
You have a bungee cord that connects to a node, and through a level there's various nodes. Some of these nodes you can move, and some of these nodes you can't. They're stationary, and there are hazards around, and sometimes there's switches you need to hit. So what you need to do is you need to guide her through the level without getting caught on ledges or dying on enemy spikes. various other hazards. So it's like, well, how do you do this when all you do is you dab on these dots and then she, slides over to them? Well, when she slides from left to right and she hits that node, her momentum's going to carry her up in a slight arc. So if you go back to the left node, she's going to swing back the other way. And suddenly, you have her kind of swinging back and forth, and you might need to then swing her back to the other node at just the right time so that she flips over a ledge or an oncoming hazard or something like that. It's interesting. It's really interesting and really fun and a really different take on puzzles from other stuff that I've played. I don't know if there's other stuff out there like this, but from my experience, it's something really...
All the swinging mechanics kind of remind me of, have you played Donkey Kong Jungle Climber?
No, I have not.
Or like Clue Land? It was very similar to that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying there. Yeah. But, it has a very fun, like, physicsy, kinetic feel to, like, throwing her around in the level. It can get a little frustrating sometimes when you just can't get her to swing the damn way that you want her to. You just can't quite figure out the physics of getting her around something. There's a technique they teach you right when you get to the second planet about, like, how to very specifically manipulate her momentum to make her swing up in kind of like a jumping formation. And one of the levels is just a hallway with these little spiky creatures running at you. So you have to master that to get through the level.
Oh, man.
It's, it was frustrating, but you get through it and then you have a new skill, just like school. Yeah, so there each level has like coins strewn about, which you can use coins to skip levels if you get stuck. There's these little nexus things you need to find, which ended up being kind of annoying because when you get to the end of a planet, you need a certain amount of them to make it through a gate. And the first planet, I didn't have enough, so I had to go back, and it was really irritating because I was going back to another level when I wanted to move forward, and I was just like, And it's also annoying because you have to get them and then finish the level, because if you die, then you have to pick them up again. So that can be a little tedious if you're not good. There's other extra goals like finishing levels in certain time limits, not bumping her head on things. It looks good. It's got cool animations. You pick up new abilities, which, again, change gameplay. There's things you can throw around. They do a good job of with the variety going from level to level. Like, there was only like 10 levels on the first planet. So they're using their ideas. They're not, it's not overstaying its welcome here, but still, I think every stage is a quality amount of time. Like, you're not just going to piss through it. It's not like something like Tumblestone that has like 600 levels, but what are you even doing?
Yeah. So overall,
and it's really fun. It's really fun. I really liked it.
Nice. So $12 on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, if you're looking for a puzzle game, that's something you can pick up, play a level, put it back down. Again, works good portably. It does have touch or analog controls, and I prefer the touch controls easily, hands down. So you can touch it
up on the screen.
Hands up.
So.
Hands up. Yeah. $12 is totally fair price for a good looking, solid, cool puzzle game.
Nice. Sounds good. I'm gonna have to pick that one up once I get a couple of bucks because it looks really cool.
Yep. Yeah, I was impressed.
Good stuff. Well, Tim, always having you back on the show after a brief, couple of minutes away since you were just here for over an hour. Any final thoughts to wrap it up for those two games?
Oh, no, sorry. I'm like brain fried from talking about wrestling for an hour and a half.
Moving on, next game to talk about is called Umiro, developed by Dice Roll Studios, published by Devolver Digital, released March 28th on Steam and mobile for $2.99. Yui and Satura find themselves lost in the colorless world of Umiro with no memory of their past or how they arrived in this mysterious place. And that is all we've got to work off of, so checking this one out for us. Royal Sefton, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday to you too, even though this is out on Saturday. So I hope you had a happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Junior.
There you go. Happy weekend. How's that?
Yes. Happy weekend. There you go.
What the hell is this game?
It is it's a puzzler type thing and kind of the quasi isometric art style of Monument Valley, but it's a timing based puzzle game. So you navigate one and then later two characters through these kind of abstract cityscape looking places, these landscapes, and you try to avoid obstacles that will move and reach crystals. You can reach a crystal that matches the color of the character and that closes the level, or you can also reach a yellow crystal, which is like a bonus, and you get these completionist achievements for finishing levels with that included. But to make it interesting, you've got these objects that get in the way, or you have these traps or barriers you have to clear out by hitting a switch first. And so as the game progresses, you start to coordinate both those characters to work together. And what you do is you record the path they're going to walk, and then you press play when you're ready for them to start walking. So it's fairly simple as you're going through the tutorial, going through the toots, and sorry, I had to. As you're going through the tutorial, you just got a clean path to your crystal, or you can take a second step and go grab the yellow crystal, then to the blue crystal, for example, if you're controlling Huey. And as you go through the levels, it starts to get more intricate. Like you need your companion, the one in the red, to hit a switch that only she can reach, so that you in the blue can walk past this barrier, hit a switch that only you can reach, so that she can cross over and get to her crystal. You can see how it starts to get pretty convoluted and more complicated as you go on.
Yeah, so it's like a single-person co-op game?
Yeah, I guess that's one thing you could call it. It's a single-person co-op game. You get those two to work together, but you're controlling them both. And you hit play, so they have to start walking simultaneously once you hit play. Yeah. So it's a puzzler that and I should add, if one of them hits an obstacle, both of them are dead, shall we say. You start the level over again. So you can't just have one of them sacrifice themselves while the other one completes the level. It doesn't work that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What else is there in this game?
That's about it, really. It's 40 chapters of that.
Oh, so there's a lot of it.
Yes, definitely. And each chapter gets progressively harder. I'm not completely done with the entire game, but obviously, I'm not done with the entire game. But it's very much a linear. You play it, you're done. About the only thing you could really go back and do again is if you decided to skip those optional crystals, those yellow crystals. You go back and attempt to do them again, which makes the levels harder because you have to take an extra step to get there, and sometimes. You may be working on obstacles that weren't really an issue for you if you just went straight for the goal. Is
there a grading system or anything after you beat a stage, or is it just about the crystals?
That's it. It's a pretty simple game.
I actually prefer that. I'm so tired of games giving me a rating on every fucking thing. It's like, just let me play a stage. Don't tell me I got a C rating on it, because fuck you.
Exactly. Again, going for the yellow crystal gets you that completionist mark, but otherwise, it's really more of a it's a more patient, it's a more quiet game. Beautiful music, really clear visuals. Again, I mentioned Monument Valley because that's the art style that I was reminded of. The cutscenes are more manga style, but the actual game itself looks a lot like Monument Valley, with that sort of isometric, straight lines, lots of bright colors.
Have you seen the game Tokyo 42?
No, I have not.
Because that is what I was reminded of when I first saw pictures of the game. It looks really nice. I dig the visuals in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you can, as soon as you open it up, and I'm playing it on PC, but as soon as you open it up, this is a mobile game that also happens to have a PC port. Nothing wrong with that. I think playing it with a phone would be more difficult for me, because with the mouse, I feel like I have more precision in drawing the path they're going to follow. So it actually worked out in my favor there. But it very much is a mobile game. You can just tell by looking at it, and by the way the interface works. You just have big buttons to exit the game or go to options or whatever.
Yeah. Plus, it's on mobile, so it is a mobile game.
It is on mobile. Yep, exactly.
So for the $3 asking price, what do you think of it?
Oh yeah, no, $3, it's fine. I mean, there's one expectation you got to manage. You might burn through this in a couple hours, and that's it. But for $3, that's not bad at all. So, it's a buy it if you like puzzle games, and if you don't mind spending $3 for a good way to pass a few hours. I wouldn't expect a lot of replay value over the long term with this. But it's such a low asking price, really, that I don't know. I don't see how you could really go wrong with this as long as you're into this kind of game.
Yeah, very true. And then you got to consider we have how many games come out at like $20, $30, $40 that are only, quote, a couple hours. And to get one for $3, I think I'm going to buy it myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't comment much on the storyline. It's kind of vague, the bits that I picked up. But, I'd say you kind of come for the puzzle and you stay for the aesthetics. Again, good music, good visuals. For $3, it's really a pretty good deal.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, Royal, thank you as always for coming on and checking this game out for us. Do you have any final thoughts on it?
Do the toots.
God fucking damn. All right, and we're back to us. Yay. We have a couple of more games to tackle. Next one is called Metropolis Lux Obscura, developed by Cthulhu Solutions, published by Sometimes You, released April 4th, Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and Vita for $7.99. This city is rotten to the core. You can't even tell night from day in this hell where big money runs everything. And the best way to prove that you're right is with brute force. Search for the truth, for loyalty, and sanity. But all you can find here is redemption, betrayal, and death. Welcome to Metropolis. Cole, tell us about it.
Wow, this game is a bomb. And I mean that in the handle it carefully kind of sense.
Do tell, because that is very ominous.
Basic description is that this is very much a gritty noir type comic game with match 3 gameplay. You spend a lot of time with the game just reading the comic, which is fine. That's a thing. And I don't mind a lot of cutscenes and stuff. You can occasionally interact during the cutscenes to choose different dialogue options, but ultimately you're just there for the show.
And in some of the story scenes, there is a show.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. I can't. So, I don't know how I'm going to do this.
So a lot of the story stuff is what, like choose your own adventure novel things?
No, there's very, it's so hard to describe it. When you have a choice of what happens next, you're basically presented with like a map of the town, and your options for where you can go will be in like a limited muted color palette, whereas everything else is kind of just grayscale. And so you'll have maybe one or two options of where you can go next to progress the story. Despite being that you're supposed to have all these options of what happens with multiple endings, there's 4 endings. You would think you would have like more free reign of where to go, but everything is very constricted and limited. Like if you interact with this place first, you're stuck on that path and you're not going to get to deviate off until maybe later where you might get one other option. Uh-huh. It's far more constricted than what it should be given the way it's presented. Basically, each segment that's not a cutscene will set up a battle for the main character, who is John Lockhart. John Lockhart has been wrongfully accused of murder, and he has just been released from prison following this wrongful accusation, which sets him up perfectly to be hired by a mob boss who is interested in Lockhart's criminal capabilities. It's up to you as the player how you handle these jobs that the mafia will present to you, or if you just forego them in an effort to track down the people who were responsible for getting you locked up in the first place. A whole lot of this game takes place in strip clubs. And if it's not taking place in a strip club, it's taking place with a prostitute. Or it's John hooking up with a past lover who may not have his best interest at heart.
So it's a family game.
You don't know. It's totally not all about sex and booze and drugs and mafia murders and biker gangs, and it's all of those things.
Yeah, I know Bill's, Carnage's friend Bill's, and Carnage himself, they've taken to calling the game Gems of Porn.
It's pretty accurate. There are certainly a lot of sex scenes.
How risque does it get?
Their nipples are pretty apparent everywhere. There are actual sex scenes. I don't know how this got through ID at Xbox. Can I just be honest? Like, I know mature content is okay and everything, given, an M rating and all that, but some of this is just like, I don't know how they pulled it off.
No, I wouldn't be shocked at getting through the ID program. The question would be how to get through the ESRB, or if we're going there, how did it get through Nintendo if it's this risque?
Because it's legit. Like, there are actual sex scenes animated where, like, there's just a rose in the foreground covering genitalia.
I mean, let's not forget The Witcher. The Witcher had full frontal nudity. Not just titties. That had hoo-hoos, too.
I mean, you could basically say this has hoo-hoos, seeing as it's the whole, like, it's drawings and there's outlines and it's supposed to be cloth, but there's not cloth. It's definitely on the risque side. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just surprised. When I was playing, I was just like, I don't know how this got through without a higher rating.
He walks in like, "Hey, hon, what are you playing?" "Nothing." "No, go."
He doesn't even notice. and I gotta say, I didn't have any problems with the story, other than it was a little bland and not enough explanation, and of course you were limited in the boxes, but the content of the story, there was potential issue with it, because you gave a game with strippers and rampant sex to the biggest feminist the show has ever seen, and I took it knowing full well what was in the game.
I was gonna say, you're not allowed to complain about any of the content because I let you read about it before anything, and I'm like, I'm warning you, you might not want this, and
let me get through.
Okay,
I'm not
just saying,
because I didn't have a problem with any of the content. Mature content is perfectly fine, and there's not anything. I mean, obviously there's heavy emphasis on sex and, the whole strip club aspect, but that's not something we haven't seen before. I mean, look at, The Wolf Among Us had strippers and all that. So it's not that that's a problem. It's not even a sexism issue,
Okay.
None of that would have even been on the table if it weren't for the fact that it was like included as a feature description. And when you have developers who go, "Yeah, sexism, it's cool," then you kind of like, no. And I don't think
it's there to boast that it's in the game. It's more of like a warning.
Poorly worded. But did you read the articles with the developer?
No.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, well, people who complain about sexism in games are hypochondriacs."
Oh, God.
So,
Well, we're here to judge the game, not the creator.
I know that, but I'm just saying, I feel like it did a disservice to the game because it had all this wrapped up in it when I started playing it. I tried to play it before I had all this information, for the record, but it had a glitch, and I had to wait until that was patched. It's been patched. It's fine. It played. But it does a disservice to this kind of game because it's gritty, it's mature, and really the content isn't that bad. It's limiting. I would have liked a better fleshed out story, but if I hadn't have known all of the hullabaloo around it, I would have just gone into this and been like, It's a neat concept. It should have been fleshed out. And I'll tell you, for all of its titties and, flower blocking sex scenes, the art style in this is fucking amazing. Whoever drew this did a really good job. Like, I loved the art. When you showed me the game in the first place, I was just like, oh, that looks so cool.
That's pretty.
If you like that gritty noir comic feel, you're just going to be like, yeah, that's badass. Gritty? And then to wrap it up with a match, yeah, it's very
gritty and titty.
Yeah. You just wanted to fit tits into the conversation again.
I do. I love titties. Even the word titties is incredible.
I just like tits. I feel like titties is
like
not.
Cheese tits?
Yeah, just.
It's a good snack.
But
we've been going on a long time about this game, by the way.
I know way more. I think I've talked more about it than it takes to beat it, because you can get like 3 of the 4 endings in under an hour.
Oh wow!
I did it on accident.
Holy shit!
It was like I did something, and I'd only gone to like 3 areas, and then it pops up and it goes ending 1 of 4, and I was like, what? So and then I just reloaded my save, and within 10 more minutes, it was like ending 2 of 4, and I'm like, what am I doing? I just want to play some match 3. The neat thing about the match 3 is that, like, if you want to punch the enemy you're sparring against, you match up 3 fists. If you want to kick him, you match up 3 boots. If you want to shoot him, you match up 3 guns. That's really creative, and I liked it. But the match 3 battles themselves are a little oversimplified. For one, you can move whatever icon you're looking to move across the entire X or Y axis at any time. Like, most match 3s are like, okay, you can only move to whatever's nearby. And then when I started playing this, I was like, okay, I can only move it here, 1 square, there, 1 square. And then all of a sudden I accidentally held the button and it lit up the axis. And I was like, wait. And then I realized
you didn't know that the whole game?
No, because I skipped the tutorial. Because I was like, it's a match 3. Who needs a tutorial for a match 3?
That'll learn you.
But after the first time I died, I figured it out. Which is okay. It gave me an achievement for that too. So I wish there was less focus on the fucking and more on filling the story out and making the match 3 not feel like it was just so unfair in your face. I've never complained about a game being too easy.
Well, maybe they wanted like more focus on enjoying the story, and they kind of put the match 3 in there just to have that game element to it.
This is so we can sell it as a game and don't have to call it porn.
Well, then overall $8 on this one. What is your verdict?
The price is kind of high for what it is, but the art is fantastic. The story's meh, and match 3 is always good. I give it a hesitant buy it, or not buy it, try it, because it's just not going to be something everybody wants to buy, and it's going to piss off a lot of people.
Yeah, and kids. But ask your parents' permission.
Yeah, like, I was trying to play this, and my kids are on spring break this week. And when I originally got it, it was going to be fine because, I could play it when my kids are at school. And then it was broken and I had to wait for a patch that didn't come out until spring break. And so then it was just like this glorious battle to find time when my kids weren't around to play the titty game. And then I have to explain to my husband, I'm sorry, I need you to turn off Ghost Recon. I've got to play the digital boob game.
Nice.
And then he's just like, okay.
Well, that is a significant amount of time we spent talking about boobs. So let's move on. The next game to talk about is called Knockout League, developed by Grab Games, published by Grab Games and Vive Studios. Released February 23rd on PlayStation VR, February 13th on Vive, Rift, and Windows Mixed Reality for $29.99. Welcome to the Knockout League, an arcade-style boxing game built from the ground up for VR. Its intuitive gameplay involves moving and dodging with your body and one-to-one punch movement that allows you to throw a variety of punches. Fight a crazy cast of characters to become the champion of the Knockout League. As you could tell, this is a 1-to-1 VR boxing game where your movements are replicated 1-to-1. So like if you throw an overhand punch, the game is going to throw an overhand punch, stuff like that. Whatever you move is how your character is going to move in the game. It's 1-on-1 as well, so it's you against one other boxer. Despite being a motion-controlled boxing game, I must say right now, this is not Wii Sports boxing. This is not a game where you hold the two controllers and you just flail wildly and expect to just win everything. Even against the very first opponents in this game, if you try using a tactic like that, you're getting fucked up. It's just gonna happen. It's not that kind of game. There's a heavy emphasis on dodging and perfect blocks in the game. When an opponent is winding up to throw a punch, you can sort of tell what trajectory their punch is going to take, and it's up to you to duck out of that trajectory. Once you do so, you stand back up, counterattack, punch them 4, 5, 6 times, whatever, as many punches as you could get in traditional punch-out style. If you just get as many attacks in as you can, rinse, repeat, where you wait for them to throw a punch, you counterattack, and then you just chip down their life until you win the fight or they knock you out. One of the other things with this game is the blocking. The way blocking is done is you have to hold your hands up in front of your face. When you first hold your hands there, they will be blue, and they're only blue for about half a second to a second. And when you can block a punch when they're blue, you get an opportunity to counterpunch, and you just, wail away on them after that. If you hold the block up too long, your gloves will turn pink, which means that you can block, but you can't counterattack. You're not allowed to punch back. If you do, it just does nothing. You have a health gauge on one of the corners. The other corner of the boxing ring is your opponent's health, so it's easy to keep track of how much life you have without any kind of gaudy looking UI floating around you. It looks really, really well done. Cool cast of characters in the game, really solid character designs in there. It has, like I said, very much a punch out vibe to it with the crazy cast of characters. Even down to like your trainer / coach in the game feels like a knockoff Doc Lewis from Punch Out. So this is like a loving tribute to Punch Out done in VR, and it works really well. Trophy hunters are going to enjoy this game, not only because the trophies are actually really unique of like accomplishing certain things during certain fights of, beating an opponent without them hitting you with their super attack or stuff like that. When you earn trophies in the game, they have an actual virtual trophy case in the game where you go in this room and you can see all of the trophies you've earned just up on a trophy shelf. And the ones that you haven't gotten yet are just shadowed out. So there's nothing there, just a black space. It's a really good way to keep you coming back and fighting more and trying to earn those trophies, because it feels like you have a tangible trophy for once, especially in VR.
Nice.
Yeah, really, really cool game. I worry about the pricing on it. $30 is kind of steep for what's there, but what is there is really, really solid, really well done. Game is gorgeous. The voice work is fantastic. $30 if you've got it. I give this one a hearty try it. Definitely worth checking out. If you don't have the money, wait for a sale, but it's still something that you should check out eventually, especially if you like boxing. And the best part that I think is for fat bitches like me, they have a way to track your height and weight in the game, and it keeps track of the calories that you burn.
Impressive.
So this could be a nice new workout routine for me. And if you thought that I would sweat a lot when I played VR games before, you haven't seen me sweat after playing a goddamn boxing VR game. Because not only is it hot in the headset, but I'm moving my ass around this tiny ass living room, just sweating my dick off. And it's a lot of fun though. I had a lot of fun with it. Oh man. Anyway, no, not anyway, because my body hurts so goddamn much from Knockout League. Like, I'm serious. This is such a good workout that I don't know, I got to shut up about this game because we have one more to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Dead Ahead Zombie Warfare, developed and published by Mobarate, released April 6th on Xbox One for $19.99. Resist against the undead in this new tactical survival sequel of Dead Ahead. Slaughter the undead invasion in one of the funnest survival games of the year. Kill raid after raid of zombies, collect supplies, look for survivors, and most importantly, create your own legacy. Cole, what kind of legacy did you create?
I created a legacy of unborn rednecks.
I thought you didn't like that word.
That's a true story. I don't like that word. But if a game uses it and I'm reviewing a game, I'm stuck with it.
Yeah.
And they use the term redneck.
Oh, well.
But that's what I did. They are shovel-toting rednecks. And so in order to put that into perspective, there is no real story for this game. You just have a bus, which is you start out as a school bus, but eventually you can unlock paint colors. And like the color of the paint dictates what kind of bus it is. Like if it's a blue bus, it's just blue. But if it's a gray bus, instead of saying Department of Education on the side, it says corrections, which is funny.
Oh, Jesus.
So, it's a bus and you get to paint it. You have your bus and it's full of your people and you're just moving your way through various blockades that are swarmed by adorable little zombies. I think these are some of the most adorable zombies I've ever seen in a game. And as soon as I started playing, I was like, I've seen this zombie style somewhere before. And it's basically the zombie that, like, everybody who has OBS and Streamlabs and Twitch alerts and all that, but they don't actually set it up, so they just have that little zombie running for the follower alert. You've seen it.
I might have seen it. I don't pay attention to them. Like, I don't even like having those on my own channel.
Yeah, as soon as you pay attention, you'll be like, that's what she was talking about. Because that little zombie is from Dead Ahead.
Ah.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, I've seen that. And it's one of the little fast-paced zombies that eventually detects you. But as you start off, they're kind of slow and tolerable, and your crew earns courage. I haven't really figured out what the metric for the courage is. I think it just kind of goes up casually on its own. And after so many zombies, like a bottle of, like a box with bottles of courage in it pops in, and you have anywhere from like 10 to 25 in it. The courage is symbolized with water.
So bottles of courage, that sounds alcoholic.
Well, and you can eventually get alcohol, and it gives you like boosts. So there's different kinds of power-ups that will, show up over the course of the game as you're taking down these blockades. I mentioned the redneck before, but there's actually different types of characters that you can build your team with. You have the redneck, and then eventually you'll unlock like a policeman or a firefighter, or there's a SWAT chick named Pepper who is really damn good with a pistol. And each different character that you unlock, they require additional amounts of courage to actually pull onto your team. So with each level or mission that comes up, you'll have a blockade at one end and you have your bus at the other. And the goal is basically to destroy the blockade so that you can get your bus through without being overrun by the zombies, essentially. And it's pretty mundane to start with. You're just like, okay, send out some rednecks with shovels for 15 courage points and move on. And then it just goes to hell in a handbasket very quickly, as zombie apocalypses are wont to do.
But what's the gameplay style? Is it like a tower defense, a reverse tower defense? Is it just like a survival game? I'm still kind of lost on that.
It is a little tower defensive, as you want to prevent the zombies from getting to your bus, but you also have to get at least some type of character that is able to destroy the blockade to the other side as well, and knock down the barricade so that you can progress through the mission to the next one. This is a port of a mobile game, if that helps explain it a little bit more. Everything is very static. It's just the one screen for each mission. The barricade is on one end, on the right side of the screen, and the zombies will move from right to left, and your bus is on the left. There is a row at the bottom with the deck of characters that you're set up with, who you can use your courage to buy. And then you'll click on that character, and then they will exit the bus and come out and join the fight. If a zombie gets to the bus, they will do damage to it until they are killed by whatever bus defenses you have. You do, like I said, you earn the courage, the water, just kind of casually, like one every few seconds or so. And then there will be the occasional drops. And I can't figure out, like I said, it just seems so random when power-ups and stuff would drop. It didn't seem like there was any rhyme or reason to it, but I would magically find a box with extra water, which I guess is kind of fitting for how a real apocalypse would be.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason when you're,
It's just like, ta-da, there's water here. And so you're good and you can call in some of the bigger guns. As you level up, you will level up your bus and have better defenses, and you'll also earn extra types of characters that you can unlock, but they have higher price tags. So you may get a lumberjack who has an insane amount of health and can blow down the barricade, but he's not much for actually fighting zombies. You'll need, say, the SWAT chick, Pepper, in the back, shooting at the zombies to cover the lumberjack while he busts down the barricade. If you take too long to get through the mission, the game will punish you by sending a massive horde of zombies at you. And those motherfuckers will tear shit down.
Oh boy.
It's also worth noting that if one of your people that you send out to destroy the barricade, if they die, they become a zombie in return and can pick back up and start taking down your team as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it was a really neat one. So you have to be thoughtful too, like, oh, if I send a policeman out there and they die, I'm going to have to do I have enough courage to send people out that are going to be able to take on a policeman zombie because they're bigger and fatter and harder to kill? The missions, at least they tell you if you're going to start a mission that's either easy or hard, normal or nightmare. But one of the things that I found is that the difficulty cranked up to 100 very quickly. And I was forced going back to replay even levels that I already had 3-starred just to try to get more materials so that I could try to improve my characters. Because you can upgrade the different types of characters. Like even the redneck, he starts out with lower stats, but if you give him things like a toothbrush and meals and stuff like that, if you fill up those 3 meters, you can pay gold to upgrade their level, and then they'll have better stats.
Now, is that a holdover from the mobile game, do you think? Because I was browsing the Xbox store and I saw some item packs for the game.
Yeah. There's definitely microtransactions out the wazoo.
Which I don't mind in a free-to-play game, but given this has a $20 price tag, I'm worried that the microtransactions might override the actual gameplay. Well, that's what I wanted to touch on, because at least the chests and stuff that you would be paying for, you can earn them, and you can also just find them. So each mission that you play does pop up with, rewards that you can use to upgrade your characters. But it will be grindy as hell if you don't want to pay. The other plus side is that sometimes you can just randomly find those chests. Like I was on the 3rd stage and I was like, oh, I've been finding chests and I don't even know how to open them. Oh, God.
And so then, I went in through the menus and I found where they sell the chests, but the ones you find are there as well. And then I had 12 I could open, and I just did this barrage of upgrades on all my characters, and it helped a little bit.
So they're basically optional if you want a fast trip through the game.
You can easily play and enjoy the game and not buy shit, because I was not about to buy any microtransactions. But
you gotta
I did
save
have
that money for Rocket League upgrades.
Yeah, which I haven't. I refuse to buy that shit too. So. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Okay, the Division DLC, one of them.
I didn't even pay for the Division DLC. I won the season pass for that.
Oh God.
I actually won the gold edition of the game when I won it. So, yeah. Anyway, but it's not that. I don't even feel like the microtransactions are that big of a hindrance as far as like making a deal that this is a mobile port. I don't even mind that it's a mobile port. They did a really good job control-wise for fitting it to the controller. It works well. It feels comfortable. There's one thing that bugs me, though, about it being a mobile port, and this is my biggest gripe.
Okay.
Mobile games love to beg you to rate the app. And this one constantly comes up.
God, no.
Begging you to rate the game, and it will take you to the Microsoft Store if you click it. It's constantly in the left-hand corner, so when you're trying to flip through your notifications to see what you need to do, that'll come up and be like, you should rate our app. And I'm like, no, I really don't want to rate the app. I just want to play. just let me play the game, because that's how I'm rating it. I'm going to review you on this.
Oh, my
so,
Lord.
Dear developers, if you're listening, my rating is take out the thing begging me to rate your game. Please.
There you go.
That is my biggest pet peeve.
I can understand it in mobile games and free-to-play mobile games because that's how they get attention, but I've never seen that on a console game, and I really hope it doesn't become a thing.
I have seen it in other consoles. I can't even remember now because I try to block that shit out. It makes me so mad. But I have seen it in other ones, and this one it's definitely there, and it's prominent. On the bright side, we don't have video ads.
That's always good.
But if you're gonna port a game and stick a $20 price tag on it, then at least try to fit in with what's the norms for a console game, because that's not it. It is a high price tag for this game, but there is also a lot of content, and you're going to spend a lot of time grinding the fuck out of it if you don't take on the microtransactions.
Gotcha.
Like I said, the difficulty spikes when you're going from like the easy levels. I was like, yeah, I'm breezing through this. This is great. And then I got to the normal levels. I was like, okay, this is an acceptable challenge. And then there were like 3 normal levels, and all of a sudden there are witches running at me and killing me quickly. And I don't understand what happened.
So it's got that mobile progression of, a fairly sharp ramp upwards.
Yep. It just falls off the cliff very quickly.
So it's to encourage the microtransactions, but the console version of the game is at least throwing those what would be microtransactions. They're throwing those chests at you to help make it easier.
Yeah. Because once you've cleared a mission, you have an area that you can essentially scavenge. I assume on the mobile version that you just like tap these areas, because all you do on the Xbox version is just hover over them with the cursor and click on them. But anything that's there, like stars that help level you up so that you can buy upgrades for your bus, or the chests that you can find, they will pop up and you will get to claim those. Sometimes you will find extra resources or whatever. So they're there and they're plentiful, but you're gonna still have to grind quite a bit to get enough to. Because I eventually made it to a boss fight where I was stunned. Like, this one boss just slams down a crane and kills everything on the field. Don't have extra courage? Don't care. You're out of luck. That's just all there is. Something's going to come in, and he just immediately matters everything. Jesus. And I'm like, I don't even know how to get around this. I have no idea what to do. I've had so much fun up to this point, but right now I'm about ready to pull my hair out, and then I'll look like the witch that's running around. I do want to throw in a bonus point. The witches, obviously, the ones from the Left 4 Dead, and I love that little reference. And it made me happy, even though I just wanted to break a controller every time one showed up.
Well, I gotta know. Go ahead.
They just scream and ruin everything.
So the witches
Like,
are good. Witches are good. Microtransactions are unnecessary, but not a huge deal. The rating system is shut up. Overall,
Please
$20 on this one. What is your official verdict? Because you have to answer when I ask it.
I do officially say try it. It's a lot of fun. It's really well made. It's just got some hangovers from its mobile version that just need to go away.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, that is it for this episode. It has been a long one. It has seemingly taken days to get through this.
Yeah, imagine.
But thanks again to Eddie and Tim for coming by and doing the reviews, and then Tim stopping back to talk wrestling, and then Tim coming back for reviews, and then Royal coming on for a review, and then everything. Yeah, it's been a long one. I need sleep. Wrestling. You goddamn right it's right. I'm so fucking excited for WrestleMania. NXT is tonight. When this episode is releasing, the NXT is happening tonight. WrestleMania is tomorrow. I can't fucking wait because I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Listen to the first half of the show and you'll see why I'm excited.
I'm totally blank staring right now.
I'm even changing things up. Instead of video game music this episode, I'm playing some wrestling music. So enjoy some wrestling themes, and you never have final words anyway, so DX,
Bye.
Suck it.
What's that metronome I hear? Perhaps the end is drawing near. You never hear the shot that takes you down. Now your dreams are memory. It seems more true from far away. Just like smoke that fades and makes no sound. Out of time, so say goodbye. What is yours now is mine. And I dream broken dreams. I make them come true. I make them for you. I make them for you. Almost to the mountaintop, you slip and fall just like a stone, rolling ever faster to this nightmare you have sown. You had it all right in your grasp, but in a breath, your minute passed. Now at last the end has come. You were all alone, out of time. So say goodbye. What is yours now is mine. And I dream broken dreams. I make them come true. I make them for you. I make them for you. All your dreams are just illusion, based on nothing and confusion. Don't you look behind the curtain. No more time, the end is certain. I dream broken dreams. I make them come true.